All right, I see a bunch of sparklers in the back there. Guys, put the sparklers out, okay? It's not Sunday yet. Relax. It's going to be an outstanding show. I'm excited. I love doing shows on holiday weekends. This is a lot of fun. I know a lot of people want to go out. They want to barbecue. But, of course, on the East Coast, we got screwed again. It's raining all weekend here in New York. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. We're born tough. We're built tough. That's what we do. What we do now is we game and we podcast. That's what you do. You game, you podcast. You forget about it. Crap's down there in Florida. He's like, it's sunny 363 days a year. It's all right. We know this. We're going to retire there. Florida is God's waiting room. That's what we call it here in New York. We're waiting. As soon as we retire, right? We will head down there as soon as we can. But we've got to get down to we've got to get work done. And that being said, let me say this much. Guys, outstanding. Before we get started, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Take a look right above that description. You'll see the join button. The Mooch mugs are in. We are going to be tweeting them out right after the 4th of July.
Mooch mugs.
The Mooch mugs are in, baby. Wait till you see them. They're fantastic. Crap, it took me a year to get these things made. Not really, but nonetheless, it felt like a year. It wasn't a year, but it felt like a year.
Crazy.
But crap, since you're so excited, you're getting a Mooch mug. You're getting a Mooch mug.
I can't wait, man. I'm excited.
I can't wait for you to tweet it out. I want to see a famous crap gamer thumb in the picture.
I'm gonna put my thumb and my whole my hand in there.
Go ahead.
People really like to get the whole hand action going.
Why not for a mug?
I love giving people hand action. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna.
There you go,
gonna do that when I get the mug. It's gonna be a good time. I can promise.
I'm here for hand action. That's why.
That's why Worry's early.
Audio capture, by the way.
Me and you are both very much into hand action. So I got to say I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, this is great.
Too, man.
This is fantastic.
Worry, that's more action you'll get in your Xbox controller, by the way.
Oh, Brap, it's too soon. Hold on a second. Let me just thank everybody, because if it wasn't for these Mooch Maniac family members, there'd be no mugs or none of these jokes, which may or may not have been a good thing. The great Mooch Maniacs are Sir X-Man, JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Frostbite Slash, Zombilla Ice Cream, CustodsX, Hustle and Motivate, Replicant, Damion, JWE316, MumbleRanting Gaming, Tyson Web 509, Mr. Twister, All-Round Gamer, TrueWiddy, Kn1ght Ripper7, Big Chuck 777, Ice Cream Gaming, who's in the chat, Wraith The Emperor, Alphonso Carter, Punkidish, Big Cloud Gaming, and the great Brap. All part of the Mooch Maniac family. Then the major Mooch Maniacs, Supreme Samurai, who is new. I appreciate that. Slaying Chilean, Donnell Brown, Smokes 901, Tactical Gamer, That Guy Smitty, HumaCast, 4-Star General, Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blades, VIP Mooch Maniac, Sean Slopka for the increase. The increase. Fantastic. That's Sean Slopka here. The Wise Old Gamer, Windingo Rex, Bryant Carter, the great Marty Bison, MexJ88, Remarkable Knights, Rich Kreischer, Rated D Demonic, the great Percolator 9000 in our honorable mentions. Ben Link, we miss you. That's Scry. Fork Boy, we miss you. Two-Tone SB, Wilmy Hood, and the forever Mooch Maniac, Longshot 316. Guys, he doesn't need an introduction, okay? I knew once I said Mooch Mugs, that was basically his go. It was his cue to go.
Yes.
And the great crap gamer never, whether it be Twitter, whether it be YouTube, Crossfire, I don't care where on social media you find him, he doesn't let you down. The great Crap Gamer is here. Crap, it is great to have you back on the show, buddy. How are you?
I heard you going about,
yes.
It's going to be sparklers on Sunday and stuff. Did Sleepy Joe say that that's okay yet?
I'm not sure.
I was kind of curious about that. I was waiting for the go-ahead. But,
You're waiting.
I'm going to go ahead and have a get-together and everything regardless.
Do it.
I know, I'm going to do it. I just wanted to make sure that he didn't maybe forget or, drool or, something along those lines. But, yeah, I'm excited. We got our big Independence Day going up. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about this week. There's a lot of cool stuff that came out. A lot of, for some reason, controversial stuff. I don't get this.
I don't get it either, but we got to talk about it.
I don't understand the controversy either, but, yeah, it's just, but still cool stuff to talk about. I'm excited.
Great.
I'm sure that everybody else is excited. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mooch. And, it's a good show. He does a really good job. And
appreciate that.
He deserves a lot of likes and stuff like that. So make sure you guys do that. And, hey, if you just dislike because I'm here, that's stupid because there's a lot of other people here too and a lot of people busting
I hit the like button twice because Crap Gamer comes every week. That's what I do.
Exactly. I do it too, man. I'm on my phone. I hit it and then I hit it from the from the PC as well. I hit it and then I hit it again.
And from behind as well.
Yeah, I do, man. It's all about the back shots on Crossfire. So let's kick it out wide and hit that like button. Let's go.
Fantastic.
Boo you
great hockey reference.
Yeah.
Guys, go ahead and tweet it out. out. Let everybody know we're here. It is a holiday weekend. The Great Basement Radio Arcade Podcast is here. Brap is also here, and I want to try and get him on the mic before the tequila kicks in. Brap, how you doing tonight?
Hey, no tequila tonight, man.
All right.
No tequila tonight.
Just making sure.
I'm just a little, he's on
Moscato.
Yes, I'm almost. Thank you, E. I'm a Moscato. Little German Moscato.
Little blush.
Little blush.
Little
rosé.
Little rosé. Rosé with the thing above the E.
Hey.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
And E, by the way,
a spritzer. Thank you, E.
And E, by the way, I just had a $6 venti and I'm complaining about stuff. You know how it is.
A $6 venti.
You got one that cheap?
I can't wait to get into that. You put that tweet out knowing that was literally lining up gasoline and lighting a match from long distance. It was fantastic.
Can I just say something real quick, Mooch?
Go ahead.
This is real quick. I love WorryWart. I'm glad he's here.
But that makes a bunch of us, to be honest with you. So I can't wait. It's Brap is great at a few things. Brap's talents are making a podcast start late and introducing people before the introduction. The great Brap. The great Brap.
Something really quick.
Please.
It doesn't matter how much alcohol you have tonight, Brap. Loving me is never going to happen.
Worry.
Loving you.
Shit.
Oh,
So you think?
Wonderful.
So you think?
This feels like a 4th of July episode already.
I've got a Neil Diamond mixtape for you.
Wow.
Loving you.
Loving you.
Sweet WorryWart.
Whoa.
Good
times.
We didn't even get to a first topic yet. This is great.
Yeah.
Am I in the right podcast? I don't know. I think I opened the wrong door
listen,
somewhere.
I was about to say the same thing.
Xbox, don't even worry about it.
Too much to drink.
The great
Get your drinks going. Get your drinks.
The great Xbox
gonna shut
defense
up
lawyer
right
is here, and he just brought peace to a very, very shaky podcast as it begins. The
Ridley
Xbox
Star.
448, right from Redmond, right to your house. Xbox, it is great to have you back on the show, buddy. After last week's, pardon, you just couldn't make it last week. You're working on Fridays, which is very devastating to the Mooch.
Every other Friday, brother.
Every other Friday, but we still miss you. So
Dude,
it's good to have you back.
I miss doing it every week, man. I definitely do. But yo, what's going on, chat? What is up, panel? I'm excited to be back again, like pretty much every other Friday now. But Mooch, I am very, very excited. I was talking to my client, Mr. Phil Spencer, and he told me that tonight's episode is not going to make or break me as a YouTuber.
I can see that.
Damn.
I will still be on YouTube
That is
10
good.
weeks from now.
That's
so
I completely disagree with that. Don't believe Completely disagree.
That's the reassurance I needed to hear, Xbot. I got to be honest with you. That's what I needed to hear.
Mooch.
Yes, please.
Mooch, can I derail the intros real quick?
Well, why not?
Again?
Yeah,
I want to say something to you and Jazz77.
Please.
Oh,
Happy
damn,
Baba
you're
Bonilla
telling
Day,
me
by the way.
already? Oh, shit. Here we go.
Thank you, Brap.
Happy Baba Bonilla Day.
Bobby
Happy
Bonilla
Bonilla
Day.
Day. That was yesterday.
Yeah, I know,
But you know what?
Are you stop paying him?
No,
No,
2024.
he's still paying him.
2024.
Holy
Oh no,
shit.
2020, 2035.
I thought it was 2024.
No, it's
No,
2035.
2035.
Oh, my
2035
God.
is when cloud gaming is going to kick on, Jesus. by the way.
Oh,
It's the same year cloud gaming becomes a
Oh,
thing.
Wait, I can't
Hey,
wait,
Worry.
man. I'm
Can't wait.
Worry,
I got
that's
phone ready
Worry.
to go, baby.
We're in
Oh.
2035 is when Xbox gets their first new exclusive. Oh, I'm just joking.
Wow.
Joking.
oh.
Damn.
Just joking.
Hey, no,
You guys
no.
are
In
great.
2035, they're going to be saying Phil's only been in charge for 15
Oh,
Oh,
years.
here
Yeah.
he goes.
You know, let's-
Here he
let's
goes.
go.
Look.
Let's give him at least 5 more years.
You got to
There's
give him
something
time,
built in
crap.
you.
You got to give him time.
He's got to get time. Come
Need
on.
time.
He
Okay?
does need time. I'm joking.
All right.
by the way. I'm
Yeah, he
joking.
does.
You know?
Yeah, he does.
Jack
I
sounds
mean,
like a bunch of broken-hearted
Come on,
ex-girlfriends
man.
right now, man. I'm
I mean,
just saying.
look at what Don Metric did to that poor guy, right? Back in 2012.
It's so great. It's so great. Well,
By the way,
speaking of
by the way,
great,
I'm-
listen.
Disclaimer, I'm joking.
Let me get a couple of these introductions though, because we usually have 11 topics. We usually get to 2. At this rate, we're on speed for 1. Let me get the great Eric Jackson's here, the voice of reason and E. Even though it seems a lot of these side topics we're having already are right in your wheelhouse, we're going to need you to bring people down to planet Earth as we kind of float off and drift off into misery. That being said, the great Eric Jackson is back on the show. E, welcome back, buddy. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. I know you actually said that it's like sunny and everything else in Florida, and I'm
Yes.
not this Florida.
No? What's going on right now?
Man. Storms. I mean, you set your watch.
And a
man. It's
hurricane
like-
coming.
got hurricane coming.
Oh, you got a hurricane.
Depression out there. Yeah.
Oh,
man.
wow.
It's wild.
Trying to
man.
break out the surfboard.
I just listen. You're in the land of Disney World. Okay, to me, it's just magical things happening all the time. You know what I mean?
That's what she said.
Right. That is what she said. That's what.
Well, we're also in the land of DeSantis, so you know.
Oh, the great Eric Jackson. By
the way, Mooch,
with a quick jab.
He's got a nickname.
What's that?
He's got a nickname, Mr. Starbucks.
Oh, Eric Jackson does?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dang,
The $6
man, we need a
lattes?
fart mic on this.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
There you go. The great.
It's Worry passing gas?
No crap.
I mean, not Worry.
Nonetheless, let me get to this. Hold on a second, guys. Let me get. I want to get to a topic here, and I'm only on introductions. The great Jez 7780s here. Jez, I know you were at the beach last week. We got you this week, and I got to tell you, I don't have it as a subject tonight. I don't have it as a topic, but I do want to bring this up. You did one of your best grind my gears the other day when you went back and forth between Game Pass and PSN, and you showed those price discrepancies. I watched it live, and outstanding work on your part. By the way, great alarm audio you got there, buddy. I don't know how the hell you do it, but we got to figure this out. But Jess, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, last week I was on the beach greasing my gears, oiling up and stuff. Now I'm back in the house. It rained on my goddamn. I was supposed to go to the beach again today, but it rained. I got a Long Island iced tea here. I just finished it, so I gotta go get another one for my Bartesian. This is sponsored by Bartesian. Dude, yo, this thing's awesome. I love this friggin' thing. It has all the alcohols, and I put the pod in there, and it gives me my drinks. I got my own bartender right here. I'm looking up the life right here.
You can tell this is definitely.
Jess, what is this you have?
The Bartesian.
Bartesian.
It is a device. It holds the different alcohols in it in different canisters, and then you put the different flavored drinks. I have Long Island's, rum breezes, margaritas, sex on the beach. You know, Game Pass is better than sex. I heard on Twitter.
Which you haven't had in a long time, but go ahead.
Dude, yeah, and you put the pot in there, and it pulls the alcohols and mixes it perfectly. I just finished my Long Island. I'll get another one.
Robert Smith is like, what show are we on right now? This is drinking with gamers.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
drinking with gamers. But anyway, yeah, thank you again. Let's get these topics going. I'm ready. I'm gonna get my second drink.
All right, you do that. Go ahead, Jess. Let me get.
I'm giving you tonight.
Let me get the great Hustle and Motivate. Hustle, listen, I know it was last second, and Hustle's been working his ass off all week long, but Hustle, thank you for being here tonight, buddy. I want to say, we are very excited to hear your opinion, because, I mean, I've seen you on Twitter, and you've been vocal on a lot of different subjects, but this is one night where I have a lot of opinionated facts, and we need to hear what you have to say. Hustle, welcome back to the show, and how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. I want to say for the record, I want to send prayers and condolences to Eric J. Oh no, it was Alex, Solid Rev, Gamerman 2323. You guys live in Florida, so you have to be on high alert all the time. I would be walking around with a head full of gray hair, looking like the Black Albert Einstein. I don't know how you even put up with it. I literally Googled a Florida man, and a bunch of stories came up. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name Hustle and Motivate. If you do not know who I am, you can always catch me on Twitter and YouTube at the same handle, Hustle and Motivate. Right now, we're going to be talking about Xbox a little later, but I'm playing that PlayStation Naughty Dog goodness known as Uncharted, and I will be streaming tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Won't you come join me?
That's my man. Hustle.
Hey,
great.
Hustle, let me say one thing, man. Whenever I see a title that says alligator stole car at Walmart with baby inside, it's like Florida.
Florida. If anybody's like thinking about moving to Florida, just Google Florida guy, and then you'll see. By the end of that, you'll be like, you know what? No, we're going somewhere else.
Hey, Mooch.
The deal is you have to come to South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida. Hey, Mooch, real quick.
Go ahead, Brap.
Can I just say something real quick?
Sure.
I just want to say Hustle Motivate is DMV's finest.
Wow.
Thank you.
There you go. There's something you didn't know.
Enrique.
Hustle's like, I don't even get that from my own folks, my own family, but I get that from Brap. That's fantastic.
You know what's crazy? I don't get it from my own
right?
folks.
I mean, none of us do. Brap's just full of compliments.
Tonight, man.
No, Hustle's DMV's finest. It's facts.
And I got my last introduction here, and actually, we talked about it before the show. I do think that there's a lot of background noise coming from the microphone, though, on your side. I do want to let you know that. So I don't know if you'll have to mute in between speaking or.
He's playing as Amico.
It should be going now, right?
It is gone now, yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right. The great,
Rico?
listen, WorryWart Gaming, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you don't, you're going to know right now. On YouTube, WorryWart is back. He's back and better than ever. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know how Worry you're doing it. You're doing like 2 videos a day at times, sometimes 3. I don't know what's happening, but the channel's blowing up. You're doing fantastic. He's been guest appearing here on CrossFire every Friday when he gets a chance. And this one, we have him for the whole show. So the great WorryWart73, welcome back to the show, buddy. How are you?
Thank you for having me. And it is very easy to do 2 videos a day when you have dog shit audio and poor video quality, and you can't get that anywhere else but my channel.
I disagree.
Yes, brother.
I disagree.
But the difference is I'm getting better.
Mine's slowly getting worse. I hear you now.
I slowly crap.
Worry, I just want to say I love your Amico videos, by the way.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Well,
it's my most popular video.
It is.
I gotta subscribe.
I subscribed. It's fantastic. It's unbelievable the amount of content the man has. But listen, I'm going to start with Worry since we have him already on the microphone. Worry.
By the way, I have 4K 60 frames per second HDR content now as well.
Huh? One up to everybody.
Right there, I just subscribed.
He's living the highlight.
There it is.
Yeah.
Another subscription.
Damn.
Worry, let me ask you this, Worry. Now, there was a whole lot of controversy this week when Sony came out and finally said that they started to acquire
Luigi's
teams,
Mansion
right?
action.
They were going to actually acquire. Who they acquired? Nixxes, I believe, and they acquired Housemarque. So the question here was then: is PlayStation in an arms race with Xbox, right? And what does Herman Hulst really mean by targeted acquisitions? That's the first question I posed to you, and the second one, real quick, is: are we going to start to see an end to AAA level independent studios with what Microsoft and PlayStation are kind of pulling off right now?
Okay, that's what you're asking me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, for me, the whole Nixxes thing, I'm like,
how does it apply to Amico?
Right.
So sorry, Worry.
For me, the Nixxes acquisition, and if they do acquire Bluepoint, it's definitely a roadmap for them porting and creating games for PC. So
thank you.
I don't think you need a compass to see that. The map's right there. Bluepoint does great remasters of great old games. They're going to do a new IP as well. But when you factor in the acquisition of Nixxes with Bluepoint, absolutely, a lot of their older games and most of their newer ones are going to make their way to PC in a much easier and more cost-effective way, which is why they picked up Nixxes. So I definitely think that that's going to happen. I definitely think it's not a big deal because console gamers do not care about games on PC. I know you guys like to argue about it's not exclusive. It is exclusive. It doesn't matter. If a game is on PlayStation, it's made by PlayStation, and it identifies with PlayStation. The same with Xbox. Console gamers are buying those consoles to play them. They don't care about whether or not those games are on PC. A perfect example of this is everybody bought Gears of War on the Xbox 360, right?
Except for me, by the way, Worry.
That game was on PC. Nobody knew about it. I didn't even know about it at the time. I didn't care because it was an Xbox game. The same thing's going to happen with PlayStation games. Whether or not they're day and date, again, I don't know. I really don't care if they're day and date because as long as they keep creating the kind of games that I like, which is those single-player, narrative-driven games, and they take advantage of their technology in a way that most don't, right? Their first party really pushes their hardware. And with Bluepoint, Nixxes, and Housemarque, that just adds to the portfolio. So definitely going to PC. Whether or not it's day and date, I don't know. I do believe that eventually it's going to be day and date. It's going to be much slower than Microsoft because they have this sort of perception around them, and they like that perception. They like the perception of having the quality first party. But I definitely think it's a roadmap, and you can see it with the acquisition of games going to PC.
But do you think that, is there a difference you're seeing between the way that Sony's acquiring teams and the teams that they've specifically handpicked versus like a Bethesda buy?
Right. So I did
smaller.
Well, it's not.
Be real.
Yeah, but let's also be real. You don't need to have a 7,000-man army to make an amazing game.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say Insomniac is smaller. Insomniac for $323 million is a steal. And that
229.
I'm sorry, that demonstrates that they have that trust and that relationship with them. They want to go with PlayStation. But I did a video about this. It's not up yet. WorryWart Gaming. Go there and subscribe. You like that?
Nice plug. Great plug.
Right.
I'm watching his xCloud video right now, and that shit looks janky, to be honest.
Oh wow, it looks janky.
It was a little janky. I saw that earlier.
Yeah,
it looks very stuttery. And you got 5G, right?
I have 5G. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Future of gaming, right there, folks.
I completely lost track.
That's all right.
Oh, you were saying that even though Charo appeared on the Love Boat 11 times, the episode with Captain and Tennille got hired.
Yes, and she was absolutely hot back in the day. I loved when she did that. It was incredible.
No, I think you were saying it was a steal. It was a steal for what they got. Insomniac
229.
But the idea that somehow the acquisitions that Sony's doing they're more targeted and somehow they're more noble and they have better relationships, I think that's bullshit. I think that if you look at the relationship that Microsoft had with Bethesda, it was definitely a relationship built on trust over the years. In fact, Todd Howard in an interview said that when they launched Fallout 76, it was so bad that the first person he called was Microsoft and Phil Spencer. So there was a relationship there over the years before they even thought about being acquired. The difference is that Sony's relationship with these studios was built on exclusive games over the years because they had the most systems sold. It's easy to get that kind of content when you have the most systems sold. There weren't a lot of avenues like mobile, like cloud at that time. So those relationships built up for Sony, but the same relationships built up for Microsoft with Bethesda. So I don't think it's different. As far as the acquisitions being bigger or smaller, I mean, Bethesda's pretty big for $8 billion. And I think Insomniac...
Well, it's not just Bethesda, it's ZeniMax, which is like, you know, Bethesda. And then ID, you know what I'm saying? You could just go
I think
kind of
that's what he means.
That's what they mean by the arms race.
That's what he means.
That's what he means by the arms race. They're not going to match that.
When I say Bethesda, I'm including everything else.
The only reason why they would even
we want to hear Worry talk.
Go ahead. No.
Go ahead, Worry.
Xbox. No, let Xbox go. Go ahead, Xbox.
Yeah, wait your damn turn. I want to hear Worry talk.
I didn't think we were doing roundtable here.
No roundtable on Crossfire. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Worry.
Here's the thing. When it comes to how many studios have been acquired, you know, Xbox is doing that for Game Pass. All right, to be self-sufficient, to bring in small games, develop, you know, large games, AAA games, everything in between. They need enough studios that they can put the content out there. The only reason why Sony would even come close to that is if they were trying to do the same thing.
Right, and they clearly aren't. I don't see them trying to do that at all.
No, there's a difference.
That would be the only reason, and I don't see that happening right now.
I agree.
They're not building
the acquisitions, except for Insomniac, the acquisitions that have just been made this week are strategic. That you know when you look at
All right, so I want to chime in real quick because it's Crossfire. So I'm gonna cut off.
When you look at Nix's,
I'm gonna cut off Xbox. No, it's Crossfire. Xbox. Let me talk.
I know, but I was mid-sentence though.
So was Worry. It's Crossfire.
Put the alcohol down for a little bit.
Yeah, guys, let's get back to a little bit of the show here. I really want to get into this. So, like, go ahead, Brap. If you do have a counter to it, I want to hear it. Go ahead.
I do have a counter.
Go ahead.
No, I don't think, you know, it's funny. Slow-mo mentioned this on Brap this past weekend. The last Brap Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, that had a
lot of plug.
The Dreamcast guy. So I you know, it's interesting. Everyone talks about the acquisitions of Microsoft, but no one's. And Slow-mo mentioned this, and I didn't think about it. No one's talking about Tencent.
No,
you know, and being a major player out there in the in the gaming world, where they're actually acquiring a lot of studios, a lot of assets. And so I don't think I think it's not just, I think to some extent it's not an arms race for Sony, but it is in a kind of way, because if they don't acquire, you don't have just necessarily Microsoft to contend with. You have Tencent, and Tencent's not playing around.
Well, you know, and Brap, I like where you went with that. I like how you kind of diverted it there, because that does make a lot of sense.
Let me chime in on his rebuttal real quick.
Go ahead.
You know, just when it comes to that, I can see what you're saying, and you know, Tencent, and there's another publishing group out there that has like 50 studios underneath their belt.
Talking about Embracer Group.
Yeah. All right. But when you look at the acquisitions and you look at what Sony has been doing, you know, and this is why I think Blue Point, I think under wraps, it's just not like officially signed yet, but I feel like Blue Point will be first party with Sony as well. Because Sony, they love to kind of, you know, dip back into that bag, their old games, and bring out remakes. Right. You know, we saw it with you know, a couple titles last generation that people absolutely love. But when it comes to Nix's, I think that again, that's a sign that more of their games are going to PC. Now, I don't necessarily think it's day and date unless Nix's is working together with the publisher that is the original publishers of those games. You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying.
If you have Naughty Dog working on a game, if you have this studio that just specializes in PC ports, we'll find out. If we hear that Nix's is working with like Naughty Dog or something like that at a time where they're developing a new title, then you might think they're going day and date. But other than that,
you know, when you look at
I don't think that's what that would mean at all. I think that there's people that are like they're a PC only, or that's not true. First of all, they're a support studio. They could definitely go help Naughty Dog with a game and support, just like you have. Sony already had some support studios, but everybody has this. Like Microsoft has this too, where they have internal support studios that go lend help to other studios. Even the Coalition went and helped out with Halo. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily. When I saw Nixxes buyout, the first thing that came to my mind was they're the first game that pops up when I load up the Avengers on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Tomb Raider. They did those they did those pieces. They actually own multiple tech patents for technology and were responsible for some very impressive.
When you said Avengers,
very impressive stuff. Including the tech, so I could definitely see them. In fact, maybe since they were basically Crystal Dynamics 2.0 during the development of the Tomb Raider reboots, I could definitely see them helping out, or maybe even since they're hiring a game director, do a new Naughty Dog version, of Uncharted. Why not? Same kind of type of situation. I could definitely see something along those lines. I didn't jump on the this must be PC because it's one studio. They're not going to fucking port every goddamn game ever.
Right. They're not going to come out for one particular task. No.
Exactly. No. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that, I thought otherwise. I'm like, damn, these guys basically did every Tomb Raider reboot and really helped with the last one. How do
you know what they did with the last one?
Because I'm very intelligent and watched a lot of the documents and stuff like, or the documentaries and things like that about the developer behind that. So very crucial stuff. They also are obviously in the credits for all the Tomb Raider games and things like that. So yeah, I looked at that as, hey, this would be a great group to do, or at least help out with this rumored new Uncharted game. Something along those, like, that was how I looked at it. I'm not saying, obviously some of the older games are still going to come to PC, no doubt, because they said so. Right, but I don't think that that's specifically.
They even created
their
own page on Steam. Games are coming from PlayStation to PC.
Because he said they are, but
not just like a couple.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, some of these older games will no doubt.
In that river called denial, brother.
Dude, it is.
Hey, listen. Dude. A handful of games is no skin off anybody's neck. Older games are not a big deal.
Right. I agree. Go ahead.
Older and newer games. By the way, crap.
What newer games?
Well, they haven't announced it yet, but Whole Slate Hustle was my nickname. Whole Slate Capper is the nickname that J-Man gave to a lot of people. Look, when I saw this announcement the other day, I said, okay, well, let me see what they did. Cause I was unfamiliar with the studio. I saw that they did. I almost said Uncharted. I saw that they did Tomb Raider. I saw that they did the Avengers. I saw, okay, this is PC stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. This is it. This is in line with Jim Ryan is saying is about he wants everything pretty much on PC, or he wants a lot of stuff on PC. I'm cool with it. The Blue Point thing, I don't.
Well, they didn't confirm Blue Point yet.
Blue Point's not confirmed.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Graphic was absolutely made with Blue Point on it, though. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but then they changed their details and shit, saying that they're independent.
But that's what so I was gonna get to that too. But I don't know I don't know. Yeah, y'all just take it from Hustle today. Hold on.
Sorry, man.
I don't know exactly how you fuck up Photoshop as a person who uses it. Like, you had to get the PNG from Blue Point. You got to put it behind a picture. You got to make sure. So I don't know how you do that type of thing. But let's be real. Has Blue Point ever worked for Microsoft or Nintendo in any other capacity? Because I've only seen them do. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they made ports. They worked on. I don't know if they worked on Halo, but they worked on.
I thought Blue Point did Halo 2 Anniversary.
They ported Titanfall to Xbox 360. No, they ported Titanfall 1 to Xbox 360.
Yeah, I knew they worked on some Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what, Blue Point, they might as well just head on home to PlayStation, dog. At that point, one of the remakes that I'm playing right now is Uncharted, and Blue Point made that. With the addition to this other with Nixxes, and get their name right. With Nixxes, that don't do nothing but just further confirm like the little leak that we saw like a few months ago with Uncharted 4 going to PC. With that leaked like internal document meeting that all of those, a few of those games were coming over first. And I said, well, why would you put Uncharted 4 over there first? That don't really do nothing but just confirm these types of things. I'm happy to see it. It seems like all of these moves from PlayStation are calculated. I mean, of course, they don't have Microsoft's money, but who does. But it seems like one of the things that I've always admired with PlayStation is that they know how to nurture like talent. I don't know if we're going to talk about the whole indies thing a little bit later on in the show, but
we are, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's bothering me, but it does seem like PlayStation knows how to nurture talent.
Well,
they got Insomniac for the low.
Let me
$29 million.
Let me say this real quick, and I like where Hustle. I like all the points I've heard right now. I think everyone's got a different set of facts that they read into and kind of looked into, and it based upon their facts that they read is where the opinions come from. I want to say this much though. I've been saying on this on the show for over a month now, well over a month, that I use the same, and I'm not going to go into it and make a big thing of it, but the XFL and the NFL. Okay, I said eventually, even though people said Sony doesn't need to do it, I said it's not a matter of Sony needs to buy teams like Microsoft. It's not that they need to, but there's only so much amazing talent out there. It's why the XFL didn't make it. Okay, they're like, well, we could compete with the NFL. No, you can't. There's not enough talent out there to entice people to sit down and watch what the NFL's got with their scouting and NCAA and blah, blah, blah. And then what you're going to do, didn't work out. Same thing here. Eventually, if Microsoft's going out there and they're buying, some are big, some are small. The point of the matter is Sony has to react eventually because they have to scoop up. And what you're seeing here is the difference when you have, you guys ever, I don't know if you've ever have gone to like a Sam's Club. You see some people that are kind of pulling up to the cashier and they've got a cart and it's piled as tall as the human being themselves, but there's nothing really on it but a lot of like toilet paper, you know what I mean, and sanitizer wipes. You know what I mean? Microsoft's buying a lot of stuff. Now there's some stuff that's really, really great inside that mix. Sony's showing up to the cashier with a smaller cart, but it's got they got the prime rib, they got the lobster tails, you know what I mean? They got everything. So Sony's kind of doing a smaller buy, but they're very precise items. What they need. What they need, exactly.
The future that
exactly,
they see.
Xbox.
That's exactly what they're
where
doing.
Microsoft is buying this volume because their need is to fill a massive gap in content needed for Game Pass.
Their need is self-sufficient in Game Pass. That's why. Like, it's not like that's their
that's fine, Xbox.
But the Nexus thing is that the reason why that the Sony's doing Nexus, my take on it is that they do PC ports, but I do think that Sony is able to probably have their studios make the game like Horizon 2 and have them port Horizon 1 to PC, not take the resources from the studios to port it for the PC. So they can have their studios continue making the next game while they have in Nexus, whatever they are, making the PC ports for the older games. And I think that's kind of the way to do it, because the thing is my whole thing is the day and date
newer
stuff.
Games too, bro. That's my prediction on that one.
That's if they do day and date, and that's the problem that I have with Microsoft's day and date. They spread their studios too thin to accommodate a too large of an audience, and that game might be compromised with content, quality, things like that we've been seeing. Whereas Sony could actually say, "Hey, we're making 2. You go port 1." And then you are not going to take the resources from Guerrilla and have Guerrilla stop what they're doing or split them up into 2
Very
teams.
good point.
You're the PC dude.
Yeah, Crap had said this.
Dudes.
Crap had said this a few months back as well when we were talking about that. That's a great point, Jez, that you just said there. What Sony's doing when they're porting over to PC is they have already had the game out. They fully utilize the talents of like Guerrilla and these other teams to make the PS4 or PS5 version, okay? Then when they do is 2 years later, they make a PC port. Now they have a dedicated team. And I agree with Crap. That Nixus is not necessarily 100% just PC port. But if that's what they want to do, this company can then go out there and do the full dedication to a PC port and not do. See, Microsoft right now is trying to make one game and it runs on your phone, runs on your iPad, it runs on your TV, it runs on your console, it runs on your PC day one.
Your phone being streamed to your phone.
You got to remember something though. Microsoft's using development tools to make that happen as opposed to manpower.
The tools are here. Brap, the tools are here.
They're
not here yet. They're not here yet.
They're not here.
But we're waiting, Brap.
But that's what
they're still in the truck.
No, we're waiting. But that's what they're working on. So obviously the judgment, the jury's still out on that. But whatever. But look, the thing is
they got
it's not just
tools right now.
And it's not just it's not just what I said earlier about Microsoft. It's the other people that are into the gaming industry. Like, you got to remember, this is a $1 billion industry. It's bigger than movies, and there's going to be other players that are going to enter the space at some point. Amazon's here. And Amazon.
We keep saying Amazon and Google all the time, but like, I got to be honest with you. Whatever they're going to do, I'm not going to belittle Amazon and Google.
Amazon and Google together, Mooch.
Well, you got to, because let's be honest, they both have the same success right now. As a matter of fact, everyone makes fun of them, but Stadia's doing better than Luna, and I'll be honest with you, Stadia is also doing better than XCloud.
But Mooch, you got to remember,
as far as performance,
Amazon's got a lot of money. They could they could turn off the light switch if they wanted to and be like, you know what, we're gonna buy X amount of studios. You know,
if they want to get into that bed, yes.
No, but see, I don't really agree with that because a studio has to want to be purchased. And just because,
absolutely, absolutely.
And also, just because you have the dough and you decide I'm just going to buy whatever. I mean, how many you watch rich kids go to college and they flunk out because their dads have the money, but they don't have the talent or the brain to stay there.
Yeah, they don't need to do it. They don't have that
necessity.
necessity.
The place I would want to sign with is Google, because look at what they already did. They closed down all their studios, canceled all their games. I would not in a million years. I don't care how much fucking money they offered me. Right. I would not do anything with Google.
There's a science to working in the gaming, and it's not just a thing where you say, "Well, I got all the dough in the world. I'm just going to do it." You know what I'm saying? I mean, Microsoft, they worked their way in, but look how they worked their way in back with the OG Xbox.
With games they did, with new IPs.
And they paid money for that.
But I mean, obviously, but they did it in a way that they were serious.
They didn't come in and buy Rockstar.
Right. Good to me. I mean, you have to always kind of watch Amazon and Google, but I don't feel like they're serious about gaming.
That's how Eric.
That's how I feel.
I like how Eric worked in John Taffer. There's a science to the bar business. There's a science.
Right.
He did.
Right.
He did.
Well, listen. Here's the thing.
But there is a method to it. It's not that.
There was an article. There was an article that Sean Layden retweeted and agreed with. And it was something to the effect of throwing money at games doesn't make for good games. And it was basically, in that article, was talking about Google and Amazon and how they're throwing all this money at these games at the time, but that's not necessarily going to get them good games because it really requires people who are passionate about games. And whenever I saw when I saw Google announce that they were doing Stadia at that event, I remember I was like, none of these people care about gaming. None of them give a shit about gaming.
It's not about it. That's why. It's about getting your data. That's what they want. They want your emails. They want your trends. They want your buying habits. That's what they're all shopping for. That's why, to get in front of more people, they all want that shit.
No.
Shit. Well, that's why people's going. No, they want everybody. It's about getting your data. That's want.
Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. Absolutely.
Well, that's why Google's even involved in this stuff, and that's why they don't care about games. Games is just a way to get to that point. That's why they don't give a shit about it.
But I'll say this:
they want to be able to see your face.
Exactly. I'll say this though. I mean, like, look, no, and I, you bring up a great point. Like, studios want to be acquired, but my point was, I think when you have other players, you don't know their intentions, you don't know their motivation. I do think it raises kind of like, it raises a little bit of like, wait a minute, like, what are these new players in the industry going to do? Do we need to keep an eye on them? And do we need to protect, relationships that we have or have had in the past? Like with Sony, with Bluepoint, with Insomniac, Microsoft with Bethesda. I mean, I think those are probably real conversations that they might be having where, like Bethesda is a great example where they wanted to be sold. And Google did go after them. Amazon went after them. And, Microsoft was the, actually,
because they had a great relationship with them.
That's the
thing. Right.
So, but there were other suitors though. So that's my point. Like, there could be other suitors out there. And so that could entice Sony or Microsoft to make decisions sooner than later about, okay, we need to acquire this team because there's, and at the end of the day, look, they have to keep the lights on.
And do they know what to do with the team, though, man? That's the thing. Like, they could buy them, but do they just let them rot like Rare? Like, do they just sit there, like, buy them and just to have them in their back pocket?
Hold on.
Like,
Rare didn't management of
man.
There's something to that.
Xbox Rare is not Rare. A lot of people let a lot of
the capabilities. I'll tell you that.
A lot of the original Rare people.
They might have made titles that you didn't like, but when it comes to like Pinata, when it comes to Connect,
Xbox. Hold on.
A lot of the Rare people, the original Rare people that make great Rare games left. They left. They weren't happy with Microsoft.
They know how to make great water.
Games like Viva Pinata and Connect Sports.
Viva Pinata was awesome.
Stuff like that.
That was good. That was good.
They left. What I'm saying, they left after that. They left. What's they focused on Connect? A lot of those people.
I don't know. Sea of Thieves has really gotten me back into it as well.
That's not
Hold on.
Go ahead, Hustle. Go ahead, Hustle.
Hater.
Y'all can't do.
4 years later, they got some content. Holy shit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's long term for Microsoft. We know what game they playing. So the Sea of Thieves thing, even though it's not the same people who made Perfect Dark in terms of red stuff, we can't do that. We gotta like acknowledge like the Sea of Thieves like come up because they really did come up.
Metacritic of it. Is that what you want?
I have to agree with Hustle on that. Like I could care less about Sea of Thieves, but it doesn't mean that
they still never fixed. The Kraken still doesn't have a goddamn body.
Hey, but you know what?
I fought the Kraken in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but who's even under the water looking at the body of the Kraken?
Hey, Jez, like I said, I don't care about Sea of Thieves, so I allow the people in that game. A lot of people
couldn't any studio release a game that's unfinished and then over a 3-year period finish it?
That's crap. That's a great point. And Ian Hustle, I see your point. Don't get me wrong. And Hustle, you've said we've had a bunch of guests on in the past couple of months that have said Microsoft's in it for the long game. Go ahead.
I want to make one more point. So, like, I like Rare. I like what they did at the launch of the 360. I like Viva Pinata and I liked Cameo a lot. And I like those games. The Kinect stuff is like neither here nor there.
Yeah.
They actually want, a lot of people mistake that they were forced to work on that. They actually wanted to work with that. So I'm not going to blame them for that. But what I will say is what they did was they missed the launch time for Kinect Sports Rival. Then Microsoft fired a lot of the people at the studio at that point because there was a lot of, issues at there, or whatever. Then they did very much unfinished Sea of Thieves at launch, and now they've already had to reboot the secondary IP that they were doing, and it's not going to come out till like 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, to say that studio is good, I think is a bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They've turned a lemon into lemonade with Sea of Thieves, I think, with having time to add to what should have probably, a lot of that stuff should have been there at the beginning.
Right.
Especially since there was a lot of people in the beta of that game, and the biggest complaint on the forums was lack of enemies, lack of things to do, all that stuff.
Yeah,
let me
complain about a year before.
Can I make a reference? Jez and Crab, let me just make one reference, and I'll give you the mic because I do want to hear your take on this. But the one thing that you have to understand, let's use a different example here, because if we just use Rare and we just use Sea of Thieves, everyone in the chat may have their opinions already formulated. But I'll give you an example. I told you guys I'm the last human on the planet that still watches all the Walking Dead stuff. I get it, okay? Yeah, shame on Mooch. But my point is, right? But listen, hear me out though. Hear me out. Fear the Walking Dead.
The first step is admitting it.
That's correct. That is correct. I admit it every week. I promise you. Fear the Walking Dead is on, I believe, season 6. And guys, take my word for it. And if you don't believe me, go check out the great Paul Tassi who covers it in depth. I'm telling you right now, the season 6 and season 5 are amazing. The problem is, season 1 through 4 sucked. Okay, it sucked.
Right.
So now here I am. I'm telling the panel, I'm telling the chat, guys, go back and watch all 6 seasons of Fear. Most people, 99% of people are gonna say, Mooch, that whole thing is past. I'm done with that. I tried it. It sucked.
You never get a second chance.
You don't get a second chance, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, and everyone's using these numbers like active users and stuff. And I know that it's kind of a bit of a play on words or a play on numbers. You'll see the DLC come out for Sea of Thieves. There's nothing else really out. 54,000
an active user base.
They do, but the number spikes. The number spikes and then immediately drops, and it drops to a very low number after a very, very short period of time.
What's a very low number, Mooch?
5,000-6,000 people.
You know what's odd is
on
the
Twitch
way that people,
watching it.
Like I don't know how many of you guys played Xbox 360 back in the day, but a lot of people are so impressed with the numbers that we see. Like, there was 56,000 people playing Sea of Thieves yesterday, and I'm thinking back, holy shit! On a hot night on Halo 3 in 2007, there was over 1 million people only playing that game on only Xbox 360.
Halo 3.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me
possibly one of the most popular games, like one, in the top when it comes to the most popular games all time, and you're gonna compare that.
Yeah, I'm gonna like that was
that's the point. That's the point.
That's my point.
Xbox,
I'm not even comparing just
that again.
But listen, I played Black Ops 2.
Really quick.
Hold
I have a question.
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2 launch night, Xbox 360, 3 million fucking people on that game on the count. They don't even do player counters on Xbox games anymore. Right, like Gears 3, over 1 million players on that game at one point, like concurrently. Like, we don't see that anymore. I think that's a problem. That's like people have such a people are like, holy shit, 76,000 people were on Halo Master Chief Collection. I'm like, that's good.
I think when it comes down to it, and I want to hear, Worry had a question.
I want to give has one, but I wanted to just give my whole point of bringing up Rare was the fact is that it just because you're buying studios doesn't mean they're going to be successful. It has to do with the
that's what I said last
output.
week, Chaz. Yes,
that's what I'm trying to get at is that just because we got you doesn't mean that
it doesn't mean a good game is on the way. We don't know.
It doesn't.
Like
BioWare.
BioWare is an outstanding company, and look at what happened with
look what EA did to them.
I'm trying to think of the game here that the Iron Man guy's
the
Anthem.
Anthem. Thank you. I was gonna say Avengers.
You look at like and that's why I say like.
But Anthem was gonna be a hit, right? Remember when we saw it at E3? Amazing, Anthem. Everybody pre-ordered. Everybody's gonna be great. BioWare's history. Casey Hudson's back, baby.
Yeah,
okay, right, and the whole thing, right? This is my thing. This is why when people are like, that's why when people are like, oh, we have, Avowed, and we have this, and these are names.
We got to see them.
We don't know what they are. We have Starfield.
Exactly.
What is it?
All right. I have two questions.
Go ahead.
Do it, Worry.
Right. My first question is: does Xbox really like Xbox, or am I misreading that?
No, he really likes Xbox.
He really likes Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second question.
He's just short of getting a tattoo, I think.
When you're talking about Rare, they took 7
I got
years.
virgin skin, bro.
They took
for you. I
7 years to
appreciate
make
that,
Sea of
Xbox.
Thieves, right? 7 years, 7 enemy types. It launched broken. It took them a long time. It took them a long time to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they launched the Pirates of the Caribbean add-on, and it's completely broken. And they acknowledge that it's broken, and they're fixing it. Stuff like that cannot continue to happen. I mean, I know other games launch with problems, but I mean, they went through all of this at the beginning when they first launched Sea of Thieves, and then they launched this add-on after hyping it up, and I was excited for it. We played it, right? It's just broken. It's not fun. I don't understand why they're having this many issues, and the idea and the excuse that, well, it's in Game Pass, give them some time. I'm not willing to give them time. I want a complete product.
And that's fair. I want to say shout out to a few people in the chat. Shout out the great Jeff Grubb is here. The great Saltiest Gaming. I see a lot of people. The Persona Speaks.
I have 3 questions then. If Jeff Grubb is here, how is his toilet? Remember last week?
He said, "Yeah, Jeff, how's the toilet? Can we get a toilet update,
I thought he ate
please?"
something you were talking about.
I do.
The Last Jedi sucks and should be stricken.
I literally have like 6. Crap is not a fan of The Last Jedi. You guys need to know this.
Is anybody a fan?
That's what I'm saying, Worry. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. World Peace, who has apparently already left the show, he said, would love to stay and watch, but I have to go play some Major League Baseball, the show on Game Pass. Have fun bashing Xbox for 3 hours instead of enjoying gaming. It's a podcast, Mr. World Peace.
What are we supposed to do?
I game before the show. I game after the show. What do you want me to do, Mr. World Peace?
I like how he's playing MLB The Show on Game Pass.
On Game Pass. Yes. Nowhere else.
I don't give a
Yes.
shit how you got it. Just play MLB The Show. Who gives a shit how you got it?
I enjoyed that shit for 5 hours on Game Pass too. Then I uninstalled it.
I got mine on Amazon. Holy shit! I'm gonna go.
Well, he's gonna be really disappointed. He's gonna be really disappointed because he left. We're giving away
fucking
free Phil Spencer posters in about an hour.
Signed by WorryWart.
I got my candle lit right by my altar.
By your podcast center, yeah.
It is. It's
Royal Boyle.
He's coming in the mail. Holy
shout out
shit.
to Royal Boyle 78, great New Yorker. He says, "Yeah, buddy." He goes, "What's good, CrossFire Mooch?" Shout out to the panel, full of good people, always here to show my support. Have a great show, and let's effing go Mets. I appreciate that, Royal Boyle. Thank you, Sir X-Man, the great Sir X-Man. Tell Brap I'm PC Master Race now and Xbox. That's like saying you're Xbox and Xbox, Sir X-Man. But thank you, nonetheless. Studio Flow. He goes, Nixus helped Gorilla. Nixus, he spelled Nexus. Nixus helped Gorilla with Killzone Shadowfall on PS4. Good to know. Appreciate that stat. Yep. The great Sir X-Man's back. He says, if Xbox is PC, that means Xbox is PC Master Race. Okay. Potato.
Don't do that, Sir X-Man. Don't
potato,
you dare.
potato.
Your new PC. Don't you dare do that.
PCs are for email. I work on them all week. Let's go.
Slayin' Chilean. X-Man, he got a new PC, a new gaming PC.
He'll still play on Xbox.
With the acquisition of Nixus, the P in PC stands for PlayStation.
Oh, wow.
What's the C stand for?
I can't say that word here.
I can't say that word publicly. It's great. Slane Shalane says, Crossfire. Thank you, Slane. Appreciate that. Mooch Maniac family member, by the way. B Staples. He says, now this is the thing with B Staples. And I listen, you know what's funny is now all these numbers are out with the active users and Steam sales. And it's like, but then when it comes down to it, and I'm like, B Staples, do me a favor. Are you gonna play Sea of Thieves all weekend? Probably not. But he says Sea of Thieves is a top seller on Steam literally every week and on the most played Xbox leaderboards. Well, there's nothing else on Xbox first party yet. What? Game is very successful. Stop the cap. But I think B Staples is the one doing the capping, not Not us.
I mean, look. If you look at the Steam charts, right, 28,000 people playing Sea of Thieves right now. So I mean, if you look at it, there's definitely more people with a PC than there is an Xbox. So that's probably
right.
You can probably cut that in half.
Yeah.
For the Xbox version, so you know,
that sounds like a lot.
So you probably guessing. Yeah, you probably have about 40,000 people playing that game. I mean, that's not, you know,
that's good, right?
That's not. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's pretty good for what it is. Yeah, absolutely. But it's not the 20 million, you know, people that people like to throw up at.
20 million active.
20 million users. Like, yeah, get out of here.
Come on.
I got two movie analogies on how they're purchasing studios. All right, we got basically Sony's coming out there saying, "Cologino, get over here. Don, get over here. Get over here. I'm gonna give you some money." And you go do this job for me. And then if you do this job, you make this game, you come back here, I'll make you part of the family. I'll make you part of the family.
Jez, nothing worse than life is a waste of time.
Phil Spencer's over here. He's out. He's like Cheech and Chong outside a titty twister. He goes, "We got shit games. We got bad games. We got fucky games. We got smelly games. We got hairy games. We got 60 games."
Wow. Listen. If Salma Hayek's in there, I'm
incredible games. So
you said if Salma Hayek's in there,
only a penny. And if you could find it,
we're watching Doom Eternal right now. Come on.
Well, listen, Doom Eternal's. I'm playing this game and I'm absolutely loving it. You guys don't understand. It's not that it's not that things are bad, Xbox, by no means. It's just that you have to look at what is actually coming down the pipeline. And since Doom Eternal came out, when was Doom Eternal? Was it a 2019 game?
I am excited. The game came out last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, it came
I thought it was.
last year.
Okay, I thought it was 2019, 2020. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you're probably not going to get a Doom for a bit. We may be in for a Wolfenstein.
Actually, you know what's funny? A lot of people assume that the Wolfenstein was already in production, and it turns out it's not. And I mentioned this, and
I'm shocked to hear that. Actually,
I won't get any credit for it, but you have to think of the reason why. If you look at it, they kind of put out these half-assed versions. I think Youngblood was the last one, and it really underperformed and got a low rating, and didn't do anything. Right,
yeah,
so they let it. Yeah, they let it cool off, and so they're doing Indiana Jones. And even Todd Howard said, "Yeah, we'd like to bring it back one day, but we're focusing on Indiana Jones." So he confirmed that it's not in production, but it's like one of those things where you would see it in all these Xbox fanboy lists. Oh, Wolfenstein 3, they'll probably announce that at this E3, and I'm like, where has it even been said that this game is even going to be in production at all, or that it's in production? Like, that's the thing, right? Everybody wants to count these games before, Elder Scrolls.
The Elder Scrolls
that
6.
Shit's in that's not in like pre-production. Like, who the hell? Like, I guess I could fucking count.
Out the bathroom because I got an idea about Elder Scrolls. Let's start thinking about it
right now. They're designing the game right now.
Well, whatever. I mean,
it's 2018. He said like, this is
I am definitely interested to see what Redfall has to offer. Am I right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but nice to see some gameplay of that.
Major Left 4 Dead vibes right there, man.
Well, yeah, but leave the zombies behind, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to replace zombies with vampires, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me I want to switch subjects slightly here because I want to shift over to say, yes.
But I mean, that's what you got. That's the vibe you got too. We were watching it together.
Oh yeah,
I
agree with you.
Left 4 Dead, but with vampires.
Yes, yeah. I think it's definitely a Left 4 Dead type of game.
I guess not. I mean, we'll have to see.
People are saying it's not, but I mean, that's. I think it's. But crap, I went a step further.
I love that franchise.
I love the game.
I thought it was like Evolve. I think it's going to be more like an Evolve.
And look at what Back 4 Blood is doing. There's crazy hype behind that for a lot of games.
I don't know, man. That game's DRM only. I'm not really sure how I feel about that.
Well, let me do this. It's kind of in the same family, but I want to talk about the Kojima and Xbox, and we have Jeff Grubb in the chat too. I mean, Jeff reported it. It's definitely picked up. It's picked up a ton of steam. It seemingly it's in the works. It's happening, but it's not necessarily what we all think. It's not going to be like a Death Stranding. This is a cloud-based game. So Kojima. I do want to give Kojima credit. The one thing he does, whether you like his games or you don't, he does do things.
Space Jam, is it?
It's not Space Jam. There's not. Well, I can confirm that.
It's a cloud game. Okay.
Right. But I'll be honest with you, though, Jazz. The one thing that Kojima does is he does change things up. He does things differently. And yes, you're up for ridicule whenever you do something outside the box. So I do want to give credit where credit's due there. I liked Death Stranding. I know a lot of people didn't. That's fine. But I do want to give Kojima a chance here and wonder what he's going to do with Xbox. Let me just ask you guys. E, I'll give you the mic first because and by the way, if you did want to talk about that last subject that you had on your mind, E, a million people chimed in. Please finish your thought. But what do you think about the whole Kojima Xbox thing? And do you think it's just kind of I wouldn't use the word a flash in the pan, but this will be kind of an experiment? This isn't like Xbox and him are probably going to do business forever. They're just doing something cloud-based, and then he'll move. He's still an independent studio, is my point.
Yeah, and I know the first thing that kind of comes to people's minds, Sony and Kojima have always had like this relationship, and it's like, yeah, but Kojima worked for Konami, so they all kind of had this relationship, and yes, Sony always showed him support, but Kojima has also been on Xbox stages throughout the years.
Yes, he has
for different things, right?
Metal Gear Solid 5, for example.
Right, and there's a lot that can be said about Kojima. Not because remember Mooch when he joined, not joined, but when he opened his studio and his first game was announced to be like a PlayStation game, people were thinking that he was going to be acquired by PlayStation,
right?
And he seemed to not want that at all. So he seems to very much want to be independent, right? And I think the misconception people have about Kojima is like he is all in with like one studio and that's all he's going to do, with one publisher and that's all he's going to do. But Kojima is like an auteur, like he's like a guy that wants to like follow technology, right? So I remember I was talking to King David, like we were talking to DM about this, and I told him, I said, I have this like feeling if like his next game when it drops is not going to be like a Sony exclusive. I have a feeling it's going to be a multi-plat in some way, right? But it turns out when we started getting the information in the news that he might be working with Microsoft, I said, well, this makes even more sense because he's probably very attracted to what they're doing with cloud gaming. For a guy that is very much into trying weird types of things.
He likes new, odd, things. Absolutely.
Right, because you look at what Death Stranding was doing. I mean, the metagame of that was like people leaving items and leaving things to help you along your journey. And likes and stuff like that. So I said, people were kind of thinking, well, that's the play for Japan. I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think he really cares about, where in particular. I think he cares about outreach and touching gamers and being able to expand like the creative reach. And I think that may very well speak to it. And I also think that why do we think that it may only be with Xbox? He could have a couple of games working or a couple of ideas working where he could still be doing something with PlayStation or, and also working with Microsoft. So no, I don't think this is a thing to where he's going to be working exclusively with him. I think he wants to go wherever he can do the type of game
clearly, I got to say one thing. One thing that we haven't given
the money is there.
I was just going to say, Kojima's
his creative
exactly Xbox. He is a businessman.
He's supposed to be with Stadia until they decided that they weren't doing anything first.
Well, here's the thing. It came out that he pitched an idea to Sony, and Sony said no.
Right.
They didn't want to fund it. Then he was going to Stadia, and Stadia canceled his game. So now he's gone to Xbox. And according to him, this was after they launched Death Stranding, and he said this is what he wants to do. He says he wants, and I'm reading, this is him. He says, I want to do a horror game, and interactive mediums are a really good match. I think it could be much scarier than movies if it's on an interactive platform. I want to create a horror game, but I don't want this good solution to be able to look away when things get scary. For PT, I wanted to create something that everyone really shares, but if you're too scared, you won't play, right? I want to challenge the horror genre and solve the problem. I really want to do something a little different. In the next 5 years, the platform will be streaming. I think there's something ahead, and I think about that. It's a movie, but it's a game. I'm thinking of that kind of idea, and I want to do that kind of thing. Basically, talking about how he wants to do like a episodic movie type horror.
Well, he always wanted to be a movie director, right?
Interactive game. So
yeah, he's very involved in the Hollywood too.
Yes, I mean it sounds like this could be, like episodic, like a movie where maybe you have prompts or something. I don't know.
Here's my question:
like Erica game. Like that.
Here's my question when it comes to this, guys. My question is, we know it's cloud-based, but we don't know if it's cloud only. So, for instance, if you have to sign into xCloud to play the game, you can't purchase it at retail and you can't download it digitally, then I think it's a mistake. However, if it's a game that you can purchase and you can download digitally and it then connects to the cloud to complement the gameplay, to create the AI to make it more advanced than you would have in a normal title, that's fine. But it does sound like they just want this to be xCloud, to have people just sign into xCloud and use the app so they can say, oh, we have more people playing xCloud than ever before. That's a mistake. It has to be a full retail release, a digital download, and then connect to the cloud to complement the gameplay. That would be great, right? Yeah. A bigger world, AI that's more advanced using the cloud. That would be really cool. So we don't know if it's xCloud only or if it's just a game that uses xCloud and the cloud to complement the game.
If it's a movie, maybe he means it to be like a streaming, like a movie where you have some kind of prompts in it or something. Mm-hmm. Because believe it or not, Netflix did Minecraft story mode. So maybe it's
something. Black
something.
Mirror like that too, where you make decisions in the movie and it changes like what you're doing. But think about having decisions, but they're tied into like a cloud algorithm or something like that. Where people, like, remember like Detroit Become Human, like they'll show you like what your friends have chosen and things like that. Like how interesting that would be if that was all like kind of cloud. You know, if it was like they had different scenarios.
I mean, as long as there's gameplay too, it can't just be a movie. I mean,
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, where you say that, and that's why Jez kind of sounds worrisome there, to be honest with you, because you never know
what it is.
With Kojima, unless you go back to the Metal Gear franchise, a lot of his stuff, especially even Death Stranding, really, I mean, yes, you had the mules that you fought in the middle of the the tundra, but my point being is that there really wasn't a lot to it. It was more of a balancing act and really getting to know the stories and just making your way through different terrain. It wasn't really action-packed, I wouldn't call it. I didn't really take it that way.
Well, if that's the case, Mooch, I guess you would be excited for what Crap said in terms of like the horror movie, because you said there's not a lot of action
I might actually like that. Yeah, I might.
The funny thing about this to me is like I'm looking at on both sides of the fence here, and I'm seeing people that were absolutely praising Kojima, but now it might be that Kojima's working with Xbox, saying, you know what, he's overrated. He's overrated.
Xbox.
And on the other side of the fence, I saw people that were completely bashing Kojima, saying how much he is overrated. Now that he might be working with Xbox, it's like, oh my goodness, can you believe it? It's a good move, kind of like marketing within the industry. But when it comes to Kojima, I've never been like a huge Kojima fan. I wasn't, and this is probably going to get me some hate here. I wasn't a big Metal Gear fan, to be really honest with you, growing up.
Me either, Xbox. We
I was never really. I was like, funky, it's cool for you. I'm glad you like it and all that good stuff. I just never really got into it. So I know he's a popular name within the industry. So, in terms of kind of like marketing and stuff like that, if he did something on it, it would be good for the business side of things. But I'm not sitting there, clamoring one side of the fence or the other when it comes to
I don't mean this for a one-to-one, but he's like the Quentin Tarantino, if you will, of the gaming industry. Like, people love some of his movies.
There were movies
I don't mean that in correlation.
I'm like,
Let me just rephrase that so everybody understands. I'm just trying to give
there's breaking news here about his game.
What do you got?
It's a Jeff Keighley simulator.
Oh,
wait a minute.
There it is. Well, that's a horror. That could be a horror.
I'm excited. Really, the only interesting thing, like the first 4 Metal Gear games were awesome in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, say that again, Crap. I apologize.
The first 4 Metal Gear games were good. So I mean,
yeah, the 5th one was lacking.
Well, the 5th one tried to go open world GTA, and it just the story in Metal Gear needs to be.
The graphics were nice. The graphics were nice.
Oh, it looked nice. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
No,
Xbox, did you play the original Metal Gear Solid?
That wasn't the original. That wasn't the original. Metal Gear Solid on the PS1.
Like I said, no Metal Gear has really. I pretty much tried them all just to see, and it just didn't. Like how games will hook you, and you're like, man, you wake up the next day and you're like, yo, I got to get back in there. I got to see what's going on. Like, I just never really felt that with the Metal Gear franchise.
I'm gonna say this.
Metal Gear 1 was the first game I had like a all-nighter with, stayed up all night. Me and my friends stayed up, taking turns playing it and beat it over.
Are you talking about the NES title or Metal Gear Solid on the PS1?
Metal Gear Solid on the PS1.
I'm talking Metal Gear Solid, yeah.
Yeah.
It
was so freaky. I never experienced where the Psycho Mantis fight where he reads your memory
incredible.
Card and he put down the controller and stuff. There was nothing like that. So I definitely have really fond memories of Metal Gear. Like I said, the newest one, it wasn't my bag, but even the PSP one was really good, and I like 2 and. Those are really good games to me. I don't think he's overrated, but I think when you give geniuses, I think he is kind of a genius, but I think when you give geniuses just unlimited time and money, and they can get weird on you. You know what I mean? And I think maybe I think maybe he could be getting a little bit too weird.
Well, that's what I meant. If you remember, again, if we go back to my Quentin Tarantino. Go ahead, Brap.
I was gonna say he had a writer for the Metal Gear Solid stories to kind of rein him in a little bit. I forget his name. There was someone else to kind of rein him in and be like, wait, Kojima, that's not.
Yeah. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4 was the whole reason I bought a PlayStation 3. I spent $599 on a PlayStation 3 to play that damn game.
Well, that's Crap. Your example though, Crap, of the guys that are these geniuses, these talents, and then they kind of have the carte blanche, if you will, to do whatever they want, and then things kind of go haywire. Well, not just Cliffy B. I was going to say that. Go back to my Quentin Tarantino, right? Pulp Fiction was a massive success, right? Put him on the map, and then right after that, what did he do? He makes 4 Rooms. Now, I thought 4 Rooms was okay, but it was an absolute bomb. It didn't do well at all.
M. Night Shyamalan, he did The Sixth Sense.
I didn't mind it either.
Like I like The Sixth Sense. And then what the hell else has M. Night Shyamalan did? A bunch of crap. You know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
2
Good example.
games, 3 games. When is this game coming out? They signed the letter of intent, supposedly.
Yeah. Right.
When the hell is this game coming out?
And it's cloud-based, Chess.
It doesn't solve Xbox's problem.
No.
For this holiday, for next year, like it doesn't solve the issue.
E3 showed you that Xbox doesn't really have a problem moving forward, so you're okay.
Well,
okay,
yeah, 2 years, 3 years. Why? What years did you see? You saw a couple of years on there. I didn't see any years. I didn't see any release dates. Did you see any? I didn't see any gameplay. I didn't see any freaking gameplay, dude.
I got to be honest with you.
This is a letter of intent. This is a letter of intent.
People said the same thing.
Letter of intent. When is this game coming out? Get the hell out of here. Let's go. Next topic.
I don't think you want to see anything from Xbox.
Listen.
Hold on. Go ahead, Crap. Go ahead, Crap.
They said the same thing. Like I remember distinctly. I remember last year at the previous E3, right? IGN and everybody said Xbox has no games. That problem's long over with, right? And then, but it really wasn't, right? Because they haven't released a first-party game this year. So I mean, we still have that problem until they actually start releasing games. Okay.
Well, you got Psychonauts 2 in August. That's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean that's not an exclusive.
There we go. Problem solved. Thanks.
I mean that's on PlayStation as well. But I mean.
I really don't care if other people get to play
Kojima signed a letter of intent.
Like,
all right, he signed a letter of intent to work with them. Supposedly, that's what it is. So, what is this game be? When is this game coming out? Kojima's a nutcase. He makes all crazy shit. We'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this before we move on. As a person who does not like horror games whatsoever, how can he try to get somebody like me who really won't play a game like that? See, I'm interested to see like that portion of it. Also, Hideo Kojima is the personification of arrogance in human form. He's like I don't know if he's Korean, but he's like that version of like Kanye West, right? He literally has his own head up his ass. I believe. I'm not gonna say that he's overrated because I don't play those stealth games or anything.
I'm just overrated.
He is. I think that he believes in himself so much that he definitely comes off as arrogant. I'm sure he's a good person, but
his body of work though. His body of work though.
Hey, I don't like stealth games, so that's not gonna work on me, man. But if he does have something,
but here's the thing. So I get you like stealth games, but I think we can all come to agreement though. If you don't like stealth games, I think you could kind of step back and say, you know what, stealth games might not be for me, but I recognize that there's a consensus in the gaming industry that this guy's a pioneer. This guy has is an icon.
He's
regardless of whether you like his games or not. There's a consensus.
You don't even really have to be stealth. Like Metal Gear 4, I went in on that game and was hardly stealthy at all. I was at balls out that whole game, man. But I mean, I get that people think you got to be 100% stealthy or whatever, but that's never been my thing either. So the fact of the matter is, it was really interesting storytelling and very cool kind of stuff. And I think that from like I said, the PS1. The fact that they were doing stuff like the guy could read your memory card and you put down your controller and make it shake and all this kind of stuff, I thought that was pretty cool. Or like,
that is pretty cool.
You could massage, like he would give you a massage. Yeah, like it was cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was very cool. Like I didn't like 5. I didn't like it for multiple reasons. I mean, they changed the voice actor. It was just this open world kind of mess where the story wasn't complete. Right, like it didn't make any sense. I like Konami had reviewers come in, play at these little stations with somebody watching over their shoulder, and basically they weren't even allowed to really finish the game. And everybody knew it was Kojima's last stand there, so they gave this game like huge high ratings. And I had really high hopes for it, but I just felt like outside of that beginning, if you play the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 5, it's fucking amazing. Right, the hospital scene and stuff like that. It is amazing.
It's really cool.
It is. And then that's the end of it. Right, like that's all uphill from there.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. That's it.
Yeah. I just want to say something real quick. Regarding Kojima and his use of technology and stuff. Like we think about Metal Gear Solid. and how he used, the technology of the PlayStation at the time to kind of take that genre to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like what you see with with Metal Gear Solid 5, like like he wanted to go open world. He kind of like went even like maybe tenfold with Death Stranding, that open world concept, but he gave us hints, I think, of where he wants to go in Death Stranding with this world, this community, if you will.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's interesting about cloud technology, and Nick on Dead 3XVI brought this up on Brap a couple weeks ago, which I thought was a great point. Like cloud is this untapped technology where, we can have these very immersive worlds. These you could have like, intelligent AI, things like that.
3.
Well, no, not like Crackdown 3,
but that's cloud powered, dude.
Yeah,
that's
but
Xbox.
Okay, but wait. That's marketing talk. We're talking about like we're at the point now.
No, that was really cloud damage. That was
okay,
cloud.
but we've heard about cloud, but like all jokes aside, like we're at the point now where cloud is really a thing. This AI machine learning, that's a thing now, right? And I think and I think what you saw with Death Stranding, you saw some of that, right? That community, that open world sandbox, and I think that's really what Kojima is going to be pushing with this new game with Microsoft. But also, they hired and Eric, you might refresh my memory here. I forgot her name.
Kim something or other.
What was her name?
Kim Swift, or I don't know.
Kim Swift, yeah. So
something
she's got
like
a great.
that.
She's got a great pedigree of games, and she came from Google Stadia. So she may be that person that kind of reins Kojima in a little bit to say, wait a minute.
Oh, I got it right. Kim Swift.
Pump the brakes. Yeah,
nice.
Kim Swift,
right.
yeah, pump the brakes, And so I'm excited to see what he's going to put out. But again, like my man Slow-Mo Backslap says, never go full Kojima.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Because somebody brought up, and I think it was Worry brought up a good point, right? Like, okay, Sea of Thieves, they use cloud computing for the water. Gears of War used cloud computing for something. I forget which one it was. Like the Horde
Forza
mode
used
or
it for
something like that.
Drivatars.
Yeah, Forza used. So
Forza's
it's like
for the
you can
Drivatars,
use it and get away with stuff. I believe Flight Sim on PC uses it a lot.
Yes.
Like, I guess if you have a shitty connection, you're not going to get nearly.
No, it's for the satellite. It's for the satellite views and stuff like that.
And weather, I think. Is it weather?
Yeah, like I heard you don't they recommend like 50 megabytes down or something for that? Like, I don't know, but I believe it was something like if you don't have really good
I got
internet.
1 gig now, so
I'm flying to
well,
Ibiza. Flying
I fucking
to
have
Ibiza.
most of the time at any given time I've got about 6 to 8 down. So
yeah,
fuck you guys.
Connecticut, brother.
Well, I don't want to go.
Listen. It's not my fault. I mean, listen. There's one fucking provider here, right? I signed up for Starlink, but that's not going to come through till later this year.
Well, listen, I don't usually go in reverse order here, crap, but I do want to say something. Showan, and I appreciate Showan's super chat. He says, I agree with Xbox, y'all. Hypocrisy showing. So, Showan, I believe what you're trying to what I believe you're trying to say is what Xbox was just saying a moment ago with the Kojima and being like, oh, the Sony guys are saying now, oh, Kojima's not good. But you got to remember the Xbox, the other side of it was what Xbox said. He said that the Xbox team and the Xbox fans all were making fun of Kojima for the past X amount of years.
I'll say both sides.
Both sides. That's what I'm saying.
The other thing that I heard was nobody likes one and dones and all this shit. Well, of course, like anything Kojima does is going to be
he's a one and done.
So it's like,
but I mean, that's what I'm saying. So Showan, that's why I was making a joke last week when we were saying, everybody on Twitter is like, well, but I thought. That stuff's got to stop because both sides do it all the time. You want to talk about no hypocrisy. I played Death Stranding. I love Death Stranding, and I just said on air that I'm looking forward to what Kojima's going to do with Xbox. If you like the individual and the talent, and shout out to Salt because you guys are stroking Kojima. I'll tell you right now, Kojima to me is to me personally, I make this reference. He's a Quentin Tarantino of game developers, and the reason I say that is because some of Quentin Tarantino's movies I think are phenomenal. Some just didn't hit for me, and that's Kojima. For me personally, some of them hit and some of them don't. So, Showan, I really
I'm not a Zone of Enders fan. You know what I mean? I don't like Metal Gear 5. I didn't
like Metal Gear Solid 5 at all.
Yeah, I liked you know, the other 4 though. I thought those were good, and I liked those the PSP ones and stuff like that. I thought those were really good for being like I think they remastered those too on the 360.
I don't think anybody on this panel has a hypocrisy at all. I think everyone's been very clear on what they've said they like them or they don't.
If it's a cloud only game, it means somebody like me probably couldn't even play it, by the way, if it's just cloud only. I'm just being honest.
I think if it's cloud only, you're really...
down the road, you'll have your Starlink, man. You'll be able to play it.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so, man. It's supposedly later this year. I
don't think a lot of people could play a lot of the cloud-based games.
There's a lot of people that don't have that kind of access to internet. So if you make it cloud only, you're completely limiting.
All I can say is people don't believe it, right? And it's not. I don't even really live in that much of country. Like I live, you know, in a smaller city, but it's not like fucking hillbilly.
Hit up DeSantis.
Yeah, it's not really a hillbilly type thing. I mean, DeSantis it wouldn't really have anything to do with that. But it's like the thing is like where all the lines are for different ISPs and the way that they have it set up is you can literally be a block away, but you'll never get like the gigabit down stuff. Like they told us that at one point I was 400 yards away from getting that. And they're like, well, there's nothing we can do. You know, they're like, we're not going to, they're like, we're not going to do that. So basically, and I got to be honest, over the last 15 years, my internet that I paid for has been exactly doubled. It went from originally being 15 megabytes down and about 1 up back in, you know, 15 years ago, and now it's supposedly double at 30 down and 2 up, but I never get that. Right?
Yeah, that's,
like they don't tell. Like,
but crap, I'm telling you, I have Verizon. I have Verizon Fios, and I'm telling you right now, the cloud-based stuff is very, very spotty, even with great internet. So I'm just trying to say to you that it's.
They tell you just need 8 gigs.
It's a good thing it's only a letter of intent. Then there's time for that whole thing.
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time. I
have a letter of intent to go take a dump after the show.
Let's change the subject.
You guys, I am changing the subjects. Actually, I want to go. I do want to go over to the great Eric Jackson. I got to go to you because you did the tweet heard around the world today. Let's talk about the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut that's coming out here, and everybody seems. Everyone's very, very worried.
This is what I don't get.
Everyone's worried about Eric's wallet. So I just want to make sure that, Eric, I want to make sure that you're okay with everyone being okay with Eric, your funds and how you spend money, right? So, what's your take on not just the director's cut as far as a gamer goes and being excited to play it or not, and then, just the controversy on the dollar amount that Sony's putting out there, which should I put that out there first and foremost? I believe it's a $70 title if you want to buy it up front, if you've never owned it. And if you already own Ghost of Tsushima and you want this director's cut, it's $20 for the PS4 and $30 for the PS5 version. So, can you get a little into the game itself for you personally and how it's affecting your wallet?
Well, for me personally, let me first state this because I know it's probably going to devolve into a whole you're contradicting and you're capping
right.
For
Sony, of course it will.
It's not that. The first thing I will say is I think people get too involved in how people choose to go about consumerism. There's no one size fits all. It's whatever fits you. So if all Game Pass all day is your jive, rock on. If you're still okay paying for games, go for it.
Rock on.
The market will always dictate who is doing what the right way. And right now we don't have. As far as I know, there's still options on how you want to go about buying things. So when I put that tweet out, it's just in the bubble, and I'm going to preface that with Mooch saying, in the bubble, we pick these things apart. It's like the chicken with the black dot in his forehead. All the other chickens peck at that little spot.
That's right. Yes.
And it's like, what's that?
So I just want to ask you a quick question, E. When you said people pick it apart, let's pick it apart, right? You've purchased downloadable content before, right? We all have.
Yep.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. So if you own Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4, you get a brand new island, new enemies, right?
Right.
For $20. It's downloadable content, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. If you don't own Ghost of Tsushima, you've never played it, for $70, you get the main game, all the DLC.
Yep.
Correct?
All the DLC
on PS5. Yeah.
On PS5.
Okay, so what is the outrage? It's downloadable content. We've all purchased downloadable content.
It's a $10 upgrade.
There's a small window. That's the dot that people are pecking at.
Right, but the upgrade
in between.
Right, but the upgrade
it's optional.
The upgrade isn't just resolution and haptic feedback, which is something that you can say smart delivery should deliver, right, for free. The upgrade is also downloadable content, new content. So what is the outrage?
That's what I've been trying to
understand. That's not.
Well, no, they haven't really cleared up on what that included in the $10.
So real quick, so if you have the PlayStation 4 version,
yes,
of Ghost of Tsushima, like I do, and let's say I had I still have PlayStation 4,
right?
I'm paying $20 for the DLC. If I went out to GameStop tomorrow and bought a PlayStation 5, and I wanted the PlayStation 5 version of the DLC, I'd have to pay an extra $10.
Okay.
So
it's $30 downloadable content.
Yeah, so basically on PS5 it's $30 DLC,
right?
And PS4 it's $20. So, but the line that people are drawing, they're saying that if you go to PS4, you get PS4, you pay $20 to get all the DLC content, the new map. The only thing you're not getting is haptic feedback, 3D audio, and all the other bells and whistles.
Japanese lip sync,
right?
Yeah, Japanese lip sync. So what people
you are
are
getting
arguing,
that on PS4 though. You're getting the lip sync on PS4.
You are, but you're not getting haptic feedback, 3D audio.
Right. Obviously, because the controller doesn't have it. Right.
Yeah, the 4K 60, whatever, the performance, the benefits of the PlayStation 5 hardware. So what people are saying and what they're arguing is that, well, wait a minute, I got to pay $10 to get a performance boost when the competitor, Xbox in this case, is giving an upgrade to Xbox One games for the Series X and Series S for free.
Right, but you're missing my point. You're not just getting a performance upgrade. You're also getting downloadable content.
Worry, I'm not disagreeing.
So in other words, people are saying, why not offer the upgrades free of charge? And
they already offered a free. They already
upgrades.
They did a free upgrade, performance upgrade for the PS5 for the game
and
last year.
Multiplayer. Free.
And they gave a completely free multiplayer.
Yeah.
They're also adding, you're going to get new content, new outfits. They also said they're going to do a new game mode that's going to be included in this as well. So I think that the fact of the matter is, like, I saw a couple complaints. I was like trying to understand where some of the complaints were coming from. Somebody was like, well, if I bought it day one on PS4 for me to play it, for me to get this on Xbox, or excuse me, not Xbox, for me to get this, I got to pay $30. So that means I pay $90 for this total. And somebody brand new to it is only paying $70. Well, that's true, but this is how it's always been. If I go and buy, and I gave this example because this happened to me, Arkham Knight. If I go buy Arkham Knight for $60 and I paid $30 for the season pass at launch, I paid $90. A year later, they bundled that together, called the game of the year, and sold it for $60. Right? Yep. This is what happens, folks. You're an early adopter. You're going to get screwed time and time again because they're going to come out with stuff like Game of the Year editions. Mortal Kombat is the biggest ripoff there is. Because
yes,
I know, because it is, because if you literally buy this game at launch for $60 and buy all the DLC, you spend hundreds of dollars on this game, or you could wait a year and a half and get a complete edition for $60.
Yep.
Right. But
like should I be mad? Should I be mad that I just purchased Mortal Kombat 11 Complete Edition and got all the DLCs for $20 in the sale? Should somebody be pissed that they paid
exactly?
They paid like $100. They paid $110 or $120 for that same content.
Had the same thing. You get the expandable content. It was like the DLC of Blood and Wine, really big expansions or whatever for $30 or whatever it was. Like, this is not new. I don't understand.
If you want to be first in line, you got to pay.
Exactly. Like, I can remember, like, people bought a 3DS and then they lowered the price 6 months later or whatever. It's like, listen, I bought it. You buy a TV. 6 months later, it's going to be worth less money. Games depreciate super fast. So unless you're Nintendo, okay.
So I think you and I agree, right, E?
Yeah, and that was the whole point of my tweet, was to kind of say, look, again, it's all about spending money on what you think has value. If you don't think this is a value, don't buy it. But
exactly.
Here's the crazy part. I don't understand why in games this has all of a sudden become a thing. It's like
the entitlement. It's because of Game Pass.
And that's the thing. People think there's a $70 thing. People did the same exact thing with game for $60. I'll just wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Yep. Right. So y'all remember the PS3?
The same thing.
Yeah.
From the PS3
type of mentality when it comes
they did the same thing with Halo over and over again.
Right. Yeah. But here's the crazy part. Everything in consumerism goes up. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. Go to the movies. Wow. We all go to the movies and pay to see a movie, and the movies have tripled in what they charge you to go to a movie. Take your family to a movie, buy popcorn, everything else. You're easily getting hit for $100.
Easy.
And guess what? you're not guaranteed to even like the damn movie. But
That's
you'll do it
facts.
again next week.
Hey, Eric.
And if
know
you
what
wait
else?
until you're really, really old, they have a senior's day.
Exactly.
And even that worry is not. Even that has gone up in price.
Hey, but you bring it up. You go, you know what? But what about Hive Busters? That's a $20 DLC, and people will bring up Game Pass, right? But the thing is, if you're paying supposedly, and this is a whole another thing that I thought was funny that maybe we should talk about one day. So only Ultimate Game Pass subscribers get that. So you're paying. It's not free. People go, I got it free with Game Pass. No, yeah, it's $180 a year. Yeah, it's $180 a year subscription. Regular Game Pass, you still have to pay $20 for it. If you're not paying for Game Pass at all, you still have to pay $20 for it. So DLC still does exist. I believe the Forza Horizon game still had to pay for the DLC or whatever. There's other Streets of Rage. They just announced that you're going to have to pay for their games or whatever.
Let me throw a recent one in there. Crap, because this is a recent one and it's multi-platform and everything, right? Let's talk about the Metro update. The Metro update was free on both platforms, right? What was not free? The DLC that team put their work in on. Mm-hmm. They didn't say, hey, guess what? We did this update for the next gen and we're going to go ahead and throw the DLC in for free with it too.
Okay, but see, I'm going to tell you what this thing. So for the $10 upgrade thing, I think it's not the DLC, it's the $10 upgrade. And I'm going to give you two games that had this. Wreckfest was one that had a $10 upgrade, and they got shit all over Twitter. People were yelling at them, and they they were like going, well, we had to do our devs. This took this extra stuff. I'm going to tell you this right now. Sony put it in PlayStation Now. I played it. That thing was not worth $10 for me. I didn't think that upgrade was sufficient enough to warrant a $10 upgrade to that.
I'll give you another one. Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Exactly. That was the next one I was going to go
to.
Here's
the funny part. You only got that upgrade if you had the digital deluxe version.
Yes, exactly.
I bought the physical.
Same here.
The whole nine, right? And they were like,
I bought the base version.
And says, what did they say? Activision said, "Fuck you."
They said, "Hey, pay $10." And then my friend bought it. He's like, "Dude, this doesn't look any much different for $10."
There's nothing different about it. For $10, it's a resolution.
You get 120 frames.
So that's my approach.
We can also talk Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is getting a .HD update
for $50
and the file extension.
Yep.
And they're charging more than what it costs.
Some quality of life improvements too.
But the thing is that different publishers are handling it. Everybody's doing this differently right now. Some people are charging the $10. Some people aren't. Some people, and the thing is the way I'm approaching this is that for $20 for the DLC, the extra island, that sounds good. But I'm gonna wait to see what the upgrade really looks like. If it's that much sharper, and if the haptic feedbacks really are very effective, like if they're really like immersing you on that to see if it's worth the $10 upgrade.
Well, the thing is
wait. I just want to make it clear. I just want to make this clear. The $10 upgrade is not just resolution and haptic feedback, correct?
No, it is. I'll tell you what it is right here
from
their website. No, that's the issue. It's not. They didn't reskin the game or anything like that. Like
are you getting the new island? Are you getting that new island, the new enemy?
No, you get that for $20. The $10 doesn't include that. The $10 is this is what it is right here. The $10
so it's $30 for everything.
Stunning visual 4K resolution, because the game I think goes up to 1440p 60 frames.
It's $30 on PS5, Worry, by the way.
Right.
So
20 on PS4.
20 for PS4.
So people's issue is that should be free. That should be like a smart delivery thing. It should just be free.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have this $10 upcharge on it, and what the $10 upcharge does, it gives you 4K dynamic 60 frames, haptic feedback, and adaptive trigger, Tempest audio, 3D audio, and lip sync for Japanese voiceover, and the ability to transfer your save. That's what they're saying.
And it's talking to 60 frames. I kind of do got it.
But it's already at 60 frames right now. See, that's the thing. If it wasn't, this would have been much more valuable. So right now,
first of all, though, there's not an option. There's not an option to just get a $10 upgrade.
I was gonna say, what's this $10 option? I've never heard.
I'm seeing it's in the chat right now. They're confirming this too. There's zero option to get a $10. It's $30.
It's 30 or 20
for everything, and $20 on PS4 for everything.
Yeah,
like this is not like. And again, to somebody in the chat who said this, I never said that Sony was doing that. I said that to me, Game Pass is causing a lot of gamers to have this entitlement feel, and I have seen that. You guys can sit there and this backs it up. Right, everything is, well, I get this for Game Pass. It's free for me or whatever. Like I get it, right? Like Microsoft is in the gathering phase. We all got our dollar deals for years to come. At some point, people are going to have to pay for that stuff, but it doesn't mean that developers should have to do everything for free. Not everybody has to follow the same path.
I agree with you a little.
As Microsoft,
but charging to transfer your save is insane.
Well, yeah,
That's a feature.
Yes.
Like I'm not.
You shouldn't do that. Like you should be able to.
I think everyone would agree with that, Worry.
Yeah, I think that's not a feature. Bullshit.
Well, here's the thing though, Worry. You know what's so weird is like I played Ghost of Tsushima on my PS4 Pro, and I specifically waited to finish it until I got my PS5, and the transfer for the save file was free. Like there was no anything like that, you know. So I don't know why. I don't understand how that would be. Yeah, that's weird to me. I don't know. I just, you know, all I'm saying is like, listen, you know, DLC, like again, like people bitch about the Spider-Man upgrade, right? They're like, why are we got to pay $20 for this? This game came out in 2018, and I'm like, did you read what like these people, for better or worse, literally added polygons, changed Peter's facial thing, put in ray tracing, frame rate, resolution. They did all this stuff to the game. The 3D audio, they built it so it works around the solid state drive. Like this is stuff on the PS5 where you can't just do a simple patch. You have to actually go and code for this shit. Like a lot of the stuff that Microsoft does on the older games is basically them running a hack on this stuff that opens up the frame rate or increases the resolution. It's not coding. It's not exactly coding. It's not coding. It's not coding.
Can somebody do me a favor? Crap. Listen, Brap. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna let Brap get your point in. Crap. Will you do me a favor? Will you please look and see if there's an official $10 option or not? Can you see if there is one while Brap does it? Because I don't believe there is one, but I got somebody in the chat here. He's like, Mooch, get a hold of your podcast. Crap's lying about the $10 option. Calm down. Calm yourself.
Everybody just calm
down.
You know,
all right. Go ahead, Brad.
I will say this. I'm kind of to Eric's point, because I see like people in live chat, like someone saying what I'm hearing is crazy, and you know, people capping and what I'm kind of like surprised about is that, you know, the gaming industry isn't immune to consumerism or to markets, right? And like Eric said, the market's going to dictate whether or not these things work. And I think what we're seeing right now in the gaming industry is that the gaming industry is $1 billion industry, right? So you're going to see different models kind of introduce themselves into the mix. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing this Game Pass model. We're seeing Sony with the traditional model. We're seeing PC where you have, you know, other like EA and Ubisoft have subscription-based models. You still have Steam. You have, you know, Epic. They're battling for, you know, dollars, and one's more, you know, better than the other in terms of deals. At the end of the day, the market's going to dictate whether or not
that's correct.
Dictate what models work. So people are
capitalism at its finest.
Yeah, this is capitalism, and this is real quick. Let me just finish this point. This isn't. People are acting. You know what's interesting is that the people that are saying this is terrible, they're probably buying into the thing they're saying terrible in other markets. They just don't realize it. And the fact of the matter is, look, the market's going to dictate whether or not this works. And look, this is going to work for Sony. And if you don't agree with it, don't buy it. You know, at the end, you have the choice. You have the choice to say, yes, I'm not going to support this, or yes, I will. For me, it's a non-issue. I'm going to pay the $30.
Well, yeah, you know, and shout out to the great gaming addict here. He says, and people like you guys,
a great game, Jesus.
Well, he says, and people like you guys are going to let them continue to do this dumb stuff. So, Addict, I don't know if you're talking about just because
we're letting them. I like how we're letting them.
We're not letting them do anything.
We're not letting them.
You never bought DLC expansion before?
Yeah, we're not letting them. We're making a choice. Like I make the choice.
It's just a choice.
It's console war fodder. That's all it is.
Yeah, now listen. To be clear,
if you want free performance upgrades and stuff like that for older games, I have a console for you.
Well, Jeff, listen, if you don't believe, honestly, guys, if you don't,
it's called PC.
Go ahead, Crap. Go ahead, finish.
I have this page. There is no $10 upgrade just for like the lip syncing and that kind of stuff. There is no $10 upgrade. I can confirm that. You can pre-order the upgrade to Director's Cut on PS4 for $20, or you can pre-order the Director's upgrade for $30. Right. If you have the PS4 version, you can then upgrade it to the PS5 version for an additional $10. But there is no which is still $30.
$30.
There is no just $10 upgrade thing option where you can get the lip sync and that.
Well, hold on,
Brap. If you wanted to,
Brap,
you could just pay $20 on the PS5 and play the PS4 version at 60 frames a second.
Yeah, exactly.
So hold on, before we go any further,
upgrade between versions.
Just to get back to Addict's point, I just want to. Jeff Grubb is in the chat, and I agree with Jeff. He says this is just the cost of PlayStation's budgets, and he says I'm fine with that. I'm with Jeff on that. It's not a matter of we're okay with it, so it's okay. No, Gaming X says no. You're definitely okay with charging for. You're okay with charging for an upgrade.
Or an expansion, absolutely.
And they're doing it on Xbox too.
I was gonna say, what's the problem with that?
Can I ask Addict one thing? Did he just start gaming last week?
They're doing it on Xbox, dude. They're Call of Duty. NBA, so I guess nobody plays those games on Xbox, right? NBA, Call of Duty, they all $70, $10.
I mean, I'm Addict. Listen, I'm a mooch. Addict. I would like nothing more than everything in the world to be free, but it doesn't really work that way, and I really wish it would, but it just doesn't.
I didn't buy NBA this year because of that, sir.
But
go ahead, Hustle.
Is actually
I know. That's why I won't play.
Go ahead, Hustle.
I got a question for everybody on the panel, right? So I see that there's a difference between the PS4 version and the PS5 version, right? So PS5 obviously is stronger than the PS4. Can you imagine if something like this were to happen on PC, to where there could be a $10 difference, a $20 difference, and possibly a $30 difference between like the different versions, just because one has weaker hardware? I'm looking at something like this. And I do get a little like nervous about that. Like, can you imagine if Gears Hive Busters, because I actually bought that from Steam, by the way. Can you imagine if that was like $30 on one place and then $10 cheaper on like Xbox?
Yeah.
Can y'all really imagine that?
But that happens.
See, the thing for me, being on this whole thing,
it's not cool.
Dude, I don't think the PS5 features right here, right now, for me, they don't look like they're worth that upgrade. That's what I'm saying. I want to see. I gotta wait to see what this thing does, because for now, this sounds like since they already gave the 60 frames per second already on the PS5,
the game looks amazing. By the way, if you
it does look amazing on that anyway, because it runs at the higher resolution at 1440p. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, I really don't care about the lip sync for Japanese voiceovers, and I love the haptic feedbacks. I love the Tempest audio, but I don't know if it's worth the $10 to do that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just do the $20 and play the game expansion. That's it.
I just want to chime in something real quick. So, like I see what Addict's saying, that we're okay with charging for an upgrade. Here's the thing. Again, if someone's okay with paying for that, don't shame them. Just like I'm not going to shame Jazz for saying,
that's right.
Just like I'm not going to.
Yep.
Yeah, wait. Just like I'm not going to shame Jez for saying, you know what, I'm not sure if the $10 is worth the upgrade. Like, again, it's a free market, which means as a consumer, you have the option to say, you know what, this is for me or this isn't for me, and neither side is right or wrong. Unfortunately, like I think what Mooch or Eric has said is that people have turned this into a console war thing. It's a free market thing, and that's all it is.
That's the thing, because here's the thing, because one side is doing a service that kind of throws these things in there, and
exactly,
there's still things in there that are not apples to oranges, the same
go on Twitter and say Game Pass is not for me. Watch what happens. See, that's the problem. Game Pass is not for everybody, bitches. That's the problem. So if $10 upgrade is not good for you, well, Game Pass is not good for me. So fuck everybody.
Listen, guys. Listen. Let me kind of point this out, right?
Go ahead, Crap. Go ahead. Hold on. I think Long Island Ices are kicking in.
A lot of Xbox fans assume that Sony's going to do some kind of Game Pass day and date thing, despite the fact that if you look at the numbers, it wouldn't make sense on Sony's part, and they don't have the money that Microsoft does. Let's just be honest. Microsoft can afford to let Game Pass gather at doing a $1 deal for years and years to come, and they're fine with that. If Sony were to do that, that would be a huge fucking problem for them. So they literally cannot do that. You know what I mean? They do things differently, and they're allowed to do things differently. They can have different types of ways to go about things, and I think that that's fine. People just forget that, right? They think that because Microsoft does things one way, that Sony has to do things exactly that same way, and that's not true at all. I mean, look, Sony does a certain type of game called quality, and Microsoft does it. I would hope that one day that they can get there, but we'll have to wait and see. The jury's still out. But we also don't know. We also don't know if Game Pass is going to affect the first party quality long term. Like I saw a negative
I don't know.
effect.
Looking at Forza Horizon 5, I think we're okay.
I saw a negative effect.
Forza's immune to that.
I saw a
Halo,
negative
though.
effect.
Damn.
I saw a negative effect with Gears 5 with Game Pass, right? Will Halo have that negative effect? I don't know, because you have Phil Spencer possibly damage controlling that, it's okay if it comes out and doesn't score well or do well. And there's also the possibility that this thing's not even going to have content to finish out the story at launch. Like they're going to have to do DLC later or whatever. I don't know, like whatever the deal is. But even if it is, but again, listen, Destiny is unfinished. Like that shit was unfinished as can be. I beat the first Destiny's the story, and it was totally unfinished. You never knew, like you didn't know what the hell was going on.
Destiny is not unfinished, dude.
Yeah, like the base game of Destiny. When you play the base game of Destiny, it's totally unfinished.
It is
when you
not,
beat that game. It is.
Destiny 2, the base game was called the Red War.
No,
the Red War
the
is
first
within
game.
That's a new part of the story. When it comes to Destiny, you have a universe. You have a certain something that's going on. You have light versus darkness, right? Then you have
they didn't even know what that was in the first one.
You have the beginning story, but then you have the expansions that come on that bring you through the universe. But the first game that you got is a beginning, middle, and end for that.
There was no end. It was totally pointless. Like nobody knew what the hell was going on. The game scored us a 71 or whatever it was.
71 or 74, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was. There was no real ending to it. And then they we got these big expansions coming out. They're going to tell the true ending, and then we're going to go into the second one, and then more expansions to do that, right? Like if they're going a Destiny route, I think that's because
the way to look at like Destiny and in the future when Halo Infinite drops, it's kind of like anime. There are story arcs within season, and you get a completion to that arc, but you don't get a completion to the entire anime until the last show.
Oh, an unfinished
That's
game.
pretty much what you're doing.
So
no, it's not an unfinished game, man.
Well,
I don't think
this model is being used, and it's fine.
No, it's completely different for Halo. If Halo has to have a great campaign that isn't tacked on 6 hours, 8 hours like Destiny was, it has to have a beginning, middle, and an end. If they're going to do that with Halo, it is not Destiny.
Halo
it is
1
not
and
okay.
2 did not have the way the crap is talking
wrong.
about this.
You're completely wrong. You're just wrong. I'm sorry.
How did Halo 2 end?
Halo 2 ended on a cliffhanger because they didn't have time to finish the game. Halo is not.
So they didn't have time to finish the game. So are you saying that it came out incomplete then?
They didn't intentionally not.
Are you saying it came out incomplete?
Listen, you have to be quiet and let me rebut this. Okay, I understand you love Xbox. Just relax a second. Okay, Halo is not Destiny. Halo cannot copy Destiny's model and be successful. It's going to lose a whole lot of people like me who've been playing it for years for the story and the campaign. It has to have a meaty campaign, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Using Halo 2's cliffhanger as somehow justification for the model of Destiny is absolutely insane. It has to have a beginning, middle, and an end, and that's period. And it will.
The story for the first Halo was Halo 1, 2, and 3 put together. So by what Crap is saying, I can't have that overarching story. So Halo 1 had its own story. Halo 2 had its own story. Halo 3 had its own story.
You're confusing a way of telling a story with the way a subscription style model of telling a story is. They're two different things. You're confusing them together because, I don't know why you're doing it, but you're confusing them. Halo is not Destiny. Destiny is not Halo. I played Destiny when it came out because I was interested in 343's next evolution.
We played it. We were like, "What the hell's going on?" We didn't know.
I'm not saying it's going to be bad when it comes out. I'm saying that if it copies that model, then it's just another Destiny clone, and there's been several. And I don't think Halo is that. I think Halo is better than Destiny because it focuses in on a deeper lore and it tells the story to you rather than have you dig up tomes while you're running around with other people online to try and read the story yourself.
Yeah, no, it's not going to have stuff like that. But like what I'm saying is, instead of coming out with Halo Infinite 2 or whatever, they're going to add that story to Halo Infinite. Is what's going on. The first game, you're gonna be dealing with Of course, you're going to be dealing with Atriox, the Banished, and all that good stuff. But I think the main focal enemy was the guy that you saw in the gameplay reveal at the end. And it's his kind of like, glorious kind of like final fight. And it's going to be against Master Chief. Of course, you have all this other stuff going on with the Banished and what's going on with Cortana and all that. But that's going to be the beginning, middle, and end for Halo Infinite's story. And then the next story is going to come out, and it's not going to be a sequel. It's going to be an add-on to that.
Right, but that's completely okay with me. That's not what you were saying, though. You were saying that, for me, if you're running around in Halo Infinite playing single player, and then all of a sudden they decide, well, let's just have everybody run through here with you like they do in Destiny. That's not Halo. It has to be a single player game.
From with that, man, and
right.
I don't think it's going to be that.
I don't think it'll be that either.
See, this is the thing. There's a lot of questions about Halo, and Microsoft needs to provide answers. And
there you go, Jess.
We are a few months away from this game coming out after being delayed over a year, and E3 has come and gone, and Phil makes these comments, and we're still asking questions about Halo. That's a problem.
It is an issue. That's a good point.
Phil came out with these comments about, this one is not going to make or break Halo. Halo's going to be here for the next 10 years. Because so many people out there on social media and stuff is like, oh, everything's riding on this Halo. Oh, this is the Halo. And he's like, no, it's not. It
should be, though. This is their next big game.
According to
should have some confidence. Me? No. To everybody who gives a fuck about gaming, this should be about Halo. This is Halo, dude. This is about Halo. You're happy with what you've seen of Halo. You know enough about it that you're satisfied with it, because I haven't. And I think it's a travesty that they're hiding Halo. How are they hiding Halo like this? Like, this is ridiculous. They should be showing this. There should be confidence, and there should be saying that, not. And I understand. Listen, he's not going to come out there and say it's do or die, because if the game does bad, then everybody's going to go running and say, see, Phil, now it's dead. I understand his politics about it, but he should come with a little bit more confidence. This is Halo. There's nothing lower than Halo. This is the house that Xbox built. And I wish there was a little more confidence and a little more showmanship of what this game is and how this game is going to play. And I think that having that not happen, and where after a delay, he needs to address to the Halo community and to the fans that Halo is on track. Not saying it, but showing it.
The way that they showed Forza Horizon 5 is the way they should have showed Halo.
Exactly. That's why they gave the goddamn conference an 8, because of what they did with Horizon.
Horizon 5. You could tell they were really confident in that game.
Exactly.
Well, where would Xbox be without Playground?
Right. Go ahead, Hustle. Go ahead.
Hey, crap. Hold on.
Right,
so did y'all see IGN podcast Unlock 5 episode 500?
No,
that's my first question.
Yes, the one where Phil said this stuff.
The one where Phil Spencer was going on. It pissed me off, because never would Shigeru Miyamoto come and say anything like that wild about Mario. Like, oh, it doesn't really matter.
Never.
Exactly.
I looked at the phone and I was like, yo, that's y'all Mario, dog. Like,
Exactly.
what the fuck are you doing, dog?
Exactly.
Like, I looked at the phone like, I said, yo, you can't brush that off. Like,
No.
Can you imagine if Neil Druckmann was like, well, I guess The Last of Us or whatever, Uncharted, whatever the top PlayStation marquee franchise is. Can you imagine if the top PlayStation marquee franchise came out and said, well, you know what? We was struggling a little bit, but we're not worried. Yeah, it's not gonna make or break it. It's gonna be. Come on, dog. Like,
Days Gone got that 71, and you ain't gonna see another one of those.
Man, well, I'm talking about the top. Crap, you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
Exactly.
about.
You can't.
They even said, but that guy, the guy that ran that studio goes, at Sony, if you're the manager of one of these studios and you come out with a 71 game, you're gone. Right? Like, he said it, man. He's like, you're gone.
Dude.
That's their most important one, though. Like, that is their most important franchise. I'm against dude.
Listen, I get, like, he's like, there's no, I don't want to put that pressure on him. Listen, that pressure should already be there, because first of all, Halo 5 had the worst campaign out of all the Halo games, and they launched the Halo Master Chief Collection, whether it was all them or not, was a broken mess for years.
And
right,
crap,
so they have two lackluster things on their hands. It's got to be a hit.
But crap, let me pick it back off you right quick, right? he said that they ain't worried about it. He said all that in the interview. If you wasn't that worried about it, why you bring Joseph Stanton in that joint? Staten.
Yeah.
Why you bring homie in that
There's
joint?
a lot of
20 years. Why you repaint the? Come on.
There's a lot of facts being said here.
The campaign gameplay a year later. Not sure.
That's the thing. Jez made a good point, and Hustle makes a good point, and everybody in the chat, everyone just is like that's the thing I don't understand here is you come to. The one thing I love about CrossFire, let me re-explain it to everybody because everybody just doesn't get it in the chat. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different like and dislike. Okay, and Jez saying his piece about here we are 3 months, from the release of Halo Infinite, and
we don't even know the release.
The people in the chat, that's true. People in the chat that are saying you're wrong about Halo, you don't know, and you could turn around and say that Jez or anyone's opinion here, myself, that we don't know. That's fine, but you do have to agree as gamers that have been watching E3s for years and knowing when games are going to come out and games are going to release, that this game, Halo Infinite, was supposed to launch in November of 2020. It got delayed. Now we're seemingly going to see it in November or December, holiday of 2021, and we still haven't seen anything. And I'm sorry, what we saw at Xbox's show, that wasn't a lot. Like, we didn't see anything in the campaign at all. There was whatever they want to call it, an in-game engine, CGI, whatever, okay? That's not the game. There's never been 3 months before a big release of a game like this, and there's been nothing to see.
The multiplayer is going to be good.
I'm sure everything. Listen, Xbox. That's the problem. See, but that's the problem is everybody who's defending it. It's just everything's gonna be great, Mooch. Why are you asking questions? Don't ask questions. Don't talk about it. Everything's gonna be just fine. Like, just stop with that. Stop with it.
Listen, we ask questions. We ask questions.
God, you can't even talk. It's
when
like
they showed God of War in 2018. We asked questions because we were so used to how God of War was. We were like, I don't know about this. It might not be the same.
I said it all the time. That's right, crap. I said that. There's no jump. Well, I did. We saw that. No, listen.
Mooch?
Go ahead.
What's interesting is we're going to critique paying for DLC.
Yeah, exactly.
And a game we haven't seen.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fine.
Exactly. Great point. But Crap's right, too. When God of War came out, we were saying the same thing. We're like, there's no jump. How do you play God of War without a jump?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was
now it's third-person over the shoulder instead of that.
That's the thing. Everyone's like, bring the same energy.
The greatest game of all time.
We've been bringing the same energy on the Sony side. We bring the same thing on the Halo. You ask questions on the Sony side. You ask questions on the Halo side or on the Xbox side. But it's so Yasid Baez. He says you're defending. You're putting the game down. I've not once put the game down. What the hell are you listening to?
See more of the campaign.
I just want to.
I can tell you this.
I just want to see more of the game. Know about the game. I don't think that's unfair.
Three people in the panel that I know of for sure, myself, WorryWart, and Mooch, we care much more about the campaign than the multiplayer.
Absolutely.
We're campaign guys. We like the campaign.
I care about the whole goddamn thing. It's Halo.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But like for us, it's the campaign. Like, I like the campaign of Halo. I think the multiplayer is fine, but the campaign is where it's at for me. It is.
Well, that's the thing that costs you $60, crap. So maybe that should be the most important part.
Exactly. Nobody's complaining about that, charging $60 for half a game that it used to be. But but listen, I hope that it's good. But you should question that. Like, why were they afraid to show anything new on the campaign after it showed pretty bad last year? Like, that's a question worth asking. I hope we do see more of it soon. It warrants the questions. I think it does. So
the only thing
question Horizon Forbidden West that they didn't see any footage, and now we saw it, and now nobody has any questions about it, right? Because it looked fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. So the only thing I could think of with Halo, and I hear what you guys are saying for lack of like showing campaign or anything like that. The only thing I can say, it's Halo's 20th anniversary. So if they don't have like a big ass show where they like go deep into Halo and stuff like that before the launch,
and you'd be worried.
There's a problem. There's a problem there, But until I feel like they're really gonna have either Inside Xbox or something like that where they go all in everything Halo, celebrating the anniversary, showing the new game, all that.
Oh yeah, they should, man.
They should. Xbox, absolutely. Like, do a whole thing on it. Now
they dipped our beaks into multiplayer for the time being, and I think the multiplayer looked really good. To be honest with you, man,
the multiplayer looked good. I would have liked to have seen an actual match. not that hybrid. It was kind of a hybrid.
Yakuza, I noticed.
I love Yakuza. It's great. Shout out to.
I told you though. I told you that Yakuza was good, and it's kind of like Shenmue. Like Shenmue's looks way worse, but that's what
the mechanics. The mechanics are better in this Yakuza than Shenmue. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But Shenmue's old.
Mooch, I'm curious. A lot of people playing this on Game Pass. Like, what's the achievement percentage?
Well, so I did look. I looked yesterday. And almost every achievement is still a rare gem achievement on Xbox.
Billions of devices. What are you talking about?
I don't know how. No one's playing it.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Speaking of that, speaking of achievements, real quick, everybody in the chat, if y'all Xbox fans, please go play Gears Hive Busters. There is no way completing.
Oh my god! Please, I made a video about that. It's unbelievable that it's still rare.
How are you not playing?
Well, that's the thing. That's
so they were coming for fame for writing that article.
My boy caught a little heat, man.
Fame that ran away.
I thought Hype was great.
And the funny part is, he was not even insulting the game. He was just asking.
No, he's asking a question. Yeah, but
everyone is asking.
That's what I've been trying. That was my whole rant about 5 minutes ago. Was you can't even ask a question. Like he was asking a question, and let me tell you something. It's a legitimate question, and it's the same thing Brap just said.
He's asking the question, like, why does it appear that people are ignoring this fantastic DLC? I asked the same question. Enrique asked the same. I played that game 2 weeks after it came out, and I opened the door on a chapter, and a rare achievement popped. I'm like, what?
That's
If you open the door, you'll get that achievement that says 3%. 3%. For opening that door.
All kinds of excuses about people don't rock with DLCs like that.
Let me ask you a question.
There's an algorithm issue on the DLC with the achievement, and I'm like, what?
Real quick, Eric. Let me ask the panel a question. What do you think that does to the developer when they see that?
That's dejected.
I would, if I was a developer, which I'm not. That would disrupt me. I would be really kind of down in the dumps. I'd be like, we just put our heart and soul into this.
Now, do you guys think? Let me ask you something.
Hey, Crap, let me say one thing. I guarantee you, the developer, they're not sitting back. I guarantee the coalition not sitting back. Well, it's in Game Pass, so hey, all that work we did, who cares?
Yeah.
Right. No artist feels that way.
No, they want to be proud of this.
Let me ask you something, and I know I'll get shit for saying Game Pass, but I hear a lot of people go, and you can look a lot of games that I've owned and have played and gotten achievements from that are in Game Pass. We'll say they'll still be rare. Do you think that people are not finishing the games? They're just trying something and then going to the next thing because there's a bunch of games? Is that an issue? To me, it seems like almost an issue because I remember when I beat Battletoads, even though that game sucked, you could beat it in a couple hours and get some decent achievements from it. Beating that game was a 2% achievement. Only 2% of people.
It's a good point. It's a good point, Crap. Because this is the thing. I even said it on my show. The fact is when they're saying how many people have clicked on it, how many people have downloaded it, what is the quality measurement of that interaction? Is it just the fact that you just clicked on it and now you become Phil's number and he runs it to Satya? What is the interaction? Is there enough? Like we're seeing with the achievement stuff. Is there? What are they measuring? Because they keep talking about engagement, but what is the quality of engagement?
That's the only measuring tool we have, Jez, right now, is to see when a game still has.
And it's now you have Phil Spencer number.
Man, hold on. Under no circumstances should you not get past the first level in a 3 hours. This the first level, dog. What? And look, okay, for the record, I do want to say this. That first level and not insane, but it's experienced.
Mm-hmm.
If you play co-op, they raise the health on the enemies, and I think they raise the attack power on the enemies. So the joint on my channel or whatever, me, Erica, and Merc, we had a really good time with it. I'm thinking there's a difficulty spike in there because that was one of the hardest parts of the game in the very beginning. So I'm thinking maybe people didn't get past it or whatever case may be, but Microsoft didn't promote that correctly, by the way. I said this when I was on the Double XP podcast, which I can catch every Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Yeah, they just dropped it, right? And didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it wasn't promoted. It's an extremely good game. Check out that article on lv1gamer.com. He did this thing, man.
I would have spent
That was a good
$20
arc.
for that as DLC. I liked it. I would have spent
Midway's monsters. Are we really talking about this? No, let's not talk about the DLC that every Xbox fanboy throws up in people's face about how great it looks, but nobody actually played. Let's not talk about.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You know, Midway, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Midway Monster, but I got to be honest with you, Midway, you got to understand, this is what Crap's saying, and I'll even take the fanboy stuff out of it. Like, everyone says it's beautiful, it's the best game ever. I've got 9 lives. I believe it was 9 lives right here. He says it's the best looking game next gen, or maybe it wasn't 9 lives. I apologize if I'm putting words in his mouth. Someone just said it's the best looking game of next generation, and no one's playing it. Like, it's definitely but that's the point, Midway. Let's not talk about it. No. Game Pass is great. Okay, I mean, I don't understand. And listen, you have Hustle. By the way, in case you may not know, anybody in the chat, Hustle and Motivate is probably one of the biggest Gears fans I've personally met, besides Crap Gamer back in the day.
No, and Erica.
Right?
Erica moved on to Halo.
And I'm telling you, it breaks Hustle's heart.
We all moved on. You guys moved on.
It breaks Hustle's heart to find out that he's getting a rare achievement on something that everybody should be definitely at least playing. It's not a very long DLC. It's not.
It's 3.5. Excuse me. Let me.
What is it? What is it? Hustle about
like 3.5 hours.
3.5, 4 hours. Yeah.
It make me so mad because it doesn't make any sense. Because the story is good too. The story is really good too.
Hustle,
man. And,
Hustle.
Yes, sir.
Remember what I said about Outriders?
Well,
no. What'd you say, Brad?
Remember Outriders? No. Remember that on Erica?
No,
Erica,
I'm not acknowledging it.
Yeah, you. You know what I'm talking about.
I'll be damned. But no, it's a sad state of affairs that we're giving this game more press on Crossfire than Microsoft gave to the Coalition. And if I am the Coalition as a creator, yeah, I'm on Microsoft ass. I'm not playing because what's up?
No, I was going to Hustle. I've neglected completely a lot of the super chats, and I know we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. I have so many to go through, and I want to get everyone's opinion on the panel on some of these questions. Wraith The Emperor, he says, Mooch, you better have watched Black Summer 2. I haven't started yet, Wraith, but I will be watching that. I definitely will be watching. You know me, anything with zombies, I'm in.
Yep.
The Great Sir X-Man says, if you're playing a game on PC from Xbox to go through Xbox app to download it, works perfectly. Don't go with the Xbox store. Again, some of these are a little bit from behind the times. The Great Sir X-Man, I truly appreciate every super chat. Magnum Biles.
Let me respond to something real quick, okay?
Go ahead.
Captain Crunch says regular Game Pass members have to pay for Hive Busters. Only Game Pass Ultimate
Well,
subscribers
what's the problem with that?
I would be surprised if there's any regular Game Pass subscribers that would play Gears anyway because you get no gold. So you would have to pay the extra $60 for gold anyway. Why not? And you could just get that changed into Ultimate for free. So it really makes no sense. I don't really buy that. I would think that the majority of people that have Game Pass have Ultimate. Otherwise, you can't play online. And you would have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I have Game Pass Ultimate, and I still put the dub up on Steam, by the way. So whatever.
Well, you support. Listen, Hustle is a phenomenal individual. Hustle always supports what he likes. Magnum Visuals.
Didn't mean to interrupt your.
No, you're fine, buddy.
your
You're fine.
build.
No, you're fine. I know your point's valid. Crap. Magnum Visual says here, Sony being a Japanese company are used to get stuff done no matter what mentality. While Microsoft cares about working conditions, that's the problem. I don't know. I mean, that's stereotyping and being all over the place. Yeah, exactly. I already read Showan's, so great. The great Showan, thank you for your super chat. Jeffrey Banks says nobody cries when you buy the Blu-ray version and the Ultimate version comes out on 4K. No one asks for the 4K version for free. Jeffrey Banks with some stats.
You have to buy the Dolby license to use Dolby Surround on Xbox, and I don't hear anybody talking about that either. So.
Yeah.
Oh, they put that up in the chat. They kept bringing that up in the chat. I saw that.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just so funny. It's like when one does something that the other doesn't, they bring it up, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. I love it.
It really is. Shout out to the great Wapzilla. He says, buy the PS4 DLC for $20 and play it on PS5 at 60 frames, 1800p. Also, your save transfer is free. So there's Wapzilla with a way to save you guys a couple of dollars and still enjoy the game.
And that's what Jez said.
That's an option.
Yep.
Phil, Mr. Options. There's options.
Options, baby. Go ahead.
Mooch, I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier about, the market kind of changing in gaming. I feel like in a lot of ways, the market's been so stagnant in the way we consume games.
Yes.
Where every other medium, whether it's TV, movies, music, has evolved, except for gaming in a lot of ways. And that goes back to, remember 2013 with the whole DRM thing. Everyone was up in arms about it. But But other forms of entertainment already moved to that model. And lo and behold, gaming eventually did too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So So what I'm, my point is this, is that, this thing that we're seeing again, it's new. There's different models. And at the end of the day, you just have to make a decision as a consumer whether or not it's for you. And we shouldn't shame people if they support the stuff or they don't.
Listen,
and that's it.
Or if they buy the games or they don't, or they want
to buy the game.
Exactly.
Listen, you guys saw me. You guys saw me tweet out this past week that the Returnal game was on sale for $50. I said, everybody that's been waiting, there's the sale, and I said that. You don't want to pay $70 like I did. Don't wait for it to go on sale. 2 months later, it went down to $50.
And let me tell you something else, Mooch. For the people complaining about $70 games, I'll say this: you didn't grow up in the '80s playing games, because yes, games were $50. Yeah. When you adjust for inflation, we were paying $103.
Well, shout out to
on the Super NES
in the 1980s.
Shout out to Trent. Shout out to Trent. He's got an ad here from I believe it's the late 80s, early 90s, and they're $87.98, $79.40. Donkey Kong Country 2, $79.48. It's an ad right from a clip from a paper. Punch Out, $79.98.
We pay less for games now than we did in the 80s and 90s.
Absolutely.
Just for inflation. We do. And I think Colin Moretti brought that up more recently too.
Nine Lives, you got to stop with whatever it is. I don't know if you have some sort of like a function box where words go into it and then you hold it up on the other side of the box and the words change and then you hear something else. He says, you guys shame people for subbing the Game Pass. No one's doing that.
Nobody
How can I shame somebody for something that I use?
I have it.
Facts.
I'm subscribed to it. You got some delusional listeners.
I don't understand what's going. Are you flipping between 5 podcasts and getting them mixed up? I mean, if that's what you're doing, I'll excuse it.
Also, Mooch, can we stop this thing where we're acting like gaming is like this exclusive thing that only so many people can get into? It's not a Bugatti club.
Yeah, you're not allowed, right? Yeah.
That's why Shut Club. Got Tom Cruise making run around.
There's many avenues.
You might be into that,
accessing games. Like
this generation is so small.
Not everybody can afford everything, right? But there's plenty of avenues into free to play. There's plenty of avenues to sales. And honestly, back on what you said, Mooch, when you told people that Returnal dropped down to 50, which was a very steep discount, right?
That's a big discount. $20, 2 months.
You had people that said, "I'm all in at 30."
Yeah, right, exactly.
For me.
Yeah,
I'm all in 30.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Mooch, it's $30, right? Oh, I'm all in when it hits PS.
No, that's got to hit. Yeah, I got to wait for $9.99. I got to wait for PlayStation. By the way, PlayStation, if you are listening, please, for the love of God, allow game gifting for a Mooch's sake. Anyway, I do want to say, Carlos Crispin, great to see Carlos out here. He says, I'm quite tired of certain Xbox influencers trying to speak on behalf of gamers. Just throwing it out there. Carlos has had enough. To some degree out there. Wobzilla's back. He says, I must have missed that one by Carlos because I already read Wobzilla's. The great WoolleyGamer, he says, workers deserve their due. You cannot hold them to ransom for the money you spent on their product a year ago. They gave free multiplayer too. The F is this, shake my head. We said that, WoolleyGamer. I mean, I'm glad he put it in print. But, it is true. Like, these guys work.
The funny thing is, people climb up on the cross about crunch, but then when, you want to pay a dev for the work that they're putting in. It's like, oh, no. Let's all stand there and have like picket signs like he's saying and be like, we don't stand for crunch, but work for free. What? Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. They're not going to work for free. You can't have your cake and eat it too, folks. I wish you could, but you can't. Slaying Chilean, a Mooch Maniac family member, he says, Ghost of Tsushima is quality. You know the news story will be fire. Sucker Punch has earned my money. So Slaying Chilean has already put his money out of his pocket on the table. Forget Me Not, great name. Sucker Punch finally charging you all multiplayer, simple as that. He's saying, so now we're paying for what we thought we got for free. I think that's the way I'm reading Forget Me Not. I don't see it that way, actually, but
2 months after.
What an interesting way everybody... Isn't it funny everybody can just turn anything any which way? It's fantastic. I'm waiting for somebody to actually tell me the day is actually the night. When that happens, I'm just not coming out of the house anymore. At that point, it doesn't matter. We can't even converse. The great WoolleyGamer is back. He says, with Destiny, you pay to have content removed. Shake my head. I'm not sure what you meant there, but there was a lot of Destiny talk, and I'll be honest with you, as much as I love Destiny, that was a blur to me, so I don't remember. The great Sergeant Salty Nuts is here. He says, people were saying Cyberpunk was going to be amazing and the greatest thing since sliced bread, and look how that turned out.
It's another game they hid, right?
That's the point. We sit here and we keep name-dropping games. Avowed.
Fool me
this, that. I know. I understand. And you do have to look at a team's pedigree. But let's be honest. The Witcher 3, that's great pedigree. And what do we get after all of this? We got Cyberpunk. And Cyberpunk, I thought, was pretty blah. I didn't care for it. I didn't. But bugs aside, I just didn't care for it. Shout out to Curtis in the chat. He says, Mooch, just so you know, the day is the night. Okay, well, there you go. I'm done. Curtis,
hey, Mooch.
I'm done. Yes. I love it. That was great, Curtis, by the way.
Real quick, guys, I have to get going. We're past the 2 hour mark, and I got to get going.
I apologize.
I want to say I appreciate you having me on last minute, just jumping in here like this.
You're always welcome, Worry.
I love talking to Eric Jackson again. I haven't heard from you in a long time, buddy.
My man.
Hustle and Motivate, Jez77. I listen to you guys all the time with Salty.
Hey, thanks, Worry, man.
So, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Worry, thank you. The great WorryWart Gaming on YouTube, guys. Go check him out. I know Hustle's been putting the link in the chat. Go check out WorryWart. He does at least like 2 videos a day now, 1 minimum. So the great WorryWart. Worry, you're always welcome on Crossfire, buddy. Thank you for being here this evening.
I got you.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
You got it, brother. And we are past the 4 hour mark, the 2 hour mark, pardon me, but I do want to get just 4, right? You like that?
Holiday weekend, baby.
It might be. I was going to say, we're going right to Sunday. Who's going to sleep? Nobody. Optimus Code, the great Optimus Code, OG is in the house. He says, guys, says, great show so far. Keep it up. You know, that means a lot to come from Code. Code is somebody in the business. He's got his ear to the ground. He listens to every podcast. If you guys don't believe me, on Twitter, check out Optimus Code. He legitimately listens to everybody's podcast. He tells you straight up. He's been on this show a number of times, and he'll say, Mooch, you're right, or Mooch, you're wrong. He is not bashful at all to tell people and put people in their place. So the great Optimus Code.
I had him on the Gaming Grindhouse on Monday, man. We had a blast, man. It was so much fun.
He spends a great deal of time blocking people because they don't like that
well, again, you know, and guys, listen, you know, speaking of people that aren't listening, Mr. Mixel MXYZPTLK, I can't say it, but he goes, Avowed is going to listen. And guys, please tell me, by the way, if I said this, I'll go to Eric Jackson because E does not say anything but the truth. E, please tell me if I said this. This is what he said. I said, Avowed is going to be bad because of Cyberpunk. Great take, Mooch. Way to grow your channel.
I believe you said we do not know because we have a crystal ball.
Right. I wasn't sure that I ever said Cyberpunk didn't do well.
And conversely, Kn1ght is one of my most anticipated games. We don't know if Kn1ht's going to be good.
I don't know if it's going to make the cut.
Everybody can get it. It looks amazing.
E, you know why?
But we see
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. Do you know why it's going to rain? Do you know why it's going to rain on somebody's wedding day? Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is going to ruin our lives. I didn't say anything like that. That has nothing to do with anything. Anyways, God, I love the chat.
The thing is that when something like Cyberpunk situation happens, it does make you as a consumer cautious of the next game where they're not showing it. There's hype for it, and there's not much being seen. Starfield, anyway, we don't know what's going on with it. And then they just drop the game. Like, see, the thing is, same thing like how I feel with the $10 stuff. Like, Wreckfest, I didn't think that was worth the $10 one. The Tony Hawk, like, $10. You know, I'm sure Sony's going to do a lot better. But, again, I'm proceeding with a little bit of caution.
Jez, that liquor thing that you have, was that worth $10?
Hell yeah, man. More than $10. That's right, baby.
Free market,
baby. Whatever value to you. That's the thing. Like
shout out to Will Henry in the chat too. Will, thanks for being here, buddy. If you don't like the channel, you don't have to be here. But God bless you, Will. And I don't know what I don't know. People stop in to say it's.
How was it? He's like, I don't like this.
You know, it's
Mooch. I love that you're like so. I don't like this.
I try my best. I listen. Here's the thing. That's the problem, and I think that like the Will Henrys of the world and such. They just, if you want to go to a show and just hear what you want to hear, that's fine. That's not the show that I like to bring people on the show. There's definitely times everybody that's on the panel still, like, it's after the 2 hour mark, so some people have to leave at 9 o'clock sharp. But there's people that are on the panel that have said, Mooch, that's not right. Have a conversation. You know, Will, if you want to listen to a show that's just going to tell you what you want to hear, they're out there. Enjoy them. I really do. Say I enjoy them. There's nothing wrong with that.
If you don't like the conversation,
but if you, this is literally about a difference of opinion, and I like when somebody in the chat or on the super chat has made some great points to counter some of the panel's thoughts, mine included. So I mean that's just the way it is. Ekum Onaram I can't say it. Ikem Oniram? Oniram. I don't know. And believe it or not, I'm just...
Put your name as Jim or Bill or Joe. I had these names.
Yeah, Ryan Landis says, Mooch, stop the show and give the chat a hug. I don't mind giving listen, if everybody's vaccinated now, everybody can have a hug.
Dude, Mooch is like George, Bush when he was getting the shoe thrown at him.
Yeah, I'm just dodging left and right. Will Henry says they never call out Sony. Where's the expansion SSD? I know the expansion SSD's not there. Will, my gaming experience has been ruined. Yes.
Can I say something real quick? I will throw Will Henry a bone here. Yeah, they should be talking about the expansion SSD. It's 7 months into the console generation.
That's true,
and I think they should be talking about it. I think that's a miss for Sony. So there you go.
Yeah. It is a myth, but we
go one that was just a fast for $500, dude. I'm not paying that. They better not approve that one.
Nike or Nick in the chat, he goes, hug me, Mooch. Great to have you here, buddy. I appreciate that. Ekem says, for as much as people try to belittle games with one and done, I bet most of these gamers don't even get to done. I replay great games all the time. That's a great point as well when we talk about. And, shout out to Gaming Persona. I don't know if he's still listening. He was here earlier. He said Mooch, please ask the question, how many people have played Ghost of Tsushima that are critiquing it? And he's right. Yeah, right. He says that a lot on his channel. Let's talk about who's actually playing these games. And, when you talk about Ikem Onaram's message here, he's saying, before we talk about one and done, let's talk about the done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But no one else, Mooch, too. Like, we didn't even talk about, how Ghost of Tsushima is a great game, and they're adding more stuff to a great game. It's not a game that was, a disaster, and now they're trying to fix it.
Right.
This game is incredible. They added more multiplayer content, and now they're adding more to it. So that goes a long way in people's decisions and what they want to see as value, because it is a great game, and now they're adding more stuff to a great game. So you most likely will be spending stuff on there. Where if it's a game that was lacking all this stuff and now they're trying to fix it a year later, now you can see people having different thoughts on it. So I can see people being very kind of open to more content for Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, hell, I'm on it, because it's a great game.
100% why, I put my tweet out yesterday just saying hey, more Ghost of Tsushima. I'm down with that because guess what? I had a great time in that world. And I think about the litany of things I've spent $10 to $30 on, just dumb things. I couldn't even tell you what it was for or didn't enjoy it.
A chicken Parmesan sandwich.
Exactly. It's this shit's cold.
Let me tell you something. I spent fucking $30 at McDonald's the other day.
Holy shit.
Dude,
$30 at McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a shame, bro. I got news for you. Listen, everything. Listen, Brap. In that case, you got a bargain. I ordered a large cheese pizza, 12 wings, $30.
Dude, I just ordered 30 pizzas and a chicken Parmesan sandwich. It was $50 goddamn dollars.
Dude, listen, everything's out of control right now. And now when you sit here and you talk about DLC that you'll play for maybe 5 hours, maybe a multiplayer that you'll play for, guys, what are we doing? You should always ask for as much as you can get from a company. Right. Trust me, I'm a mooch. I get that. I'm not saying it's okay to just say, yeah, I'll pay. But at the same time, people are working. We sit here and we talk about the crunch thing, right? We don't want them to crunch. No crunch. Fair space and fair time for developers. Hey, by the way, the developers are asking for $20. Get the hell out of here. What? It's the same guy. I don't get it. It's the same guy. Alvin says this podcast has been great, Mooch. Just tossed some coins in the plate. Alvin, thank you. And listen, Midway Monster, he makes a good point too. Shout out to Midway. He's used to be a Mooch Maniac family member. Midway, where the hell'd you go? We miss you. He says, Mooch, this is what CrossFire kind of invokes. It brings people's, feelings and it brings the chat to life. And listen, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I dig that. I love it. That's what it should be. We should be able to have conversation without saying, well, this sucks. I can't listen to this. This difference of opinion's awful. Why? Just say why and let's have a conversation about it instead of just name calling. We have some great people here. MUI Tony says, for owners, of course. I'm not sure. Wait, maybe he comes back. He says, the new multiplayer content is completely free. No purchase necessary at all. This is very true. I think he's maybe referring to the other super chat that we read earlier. So he's not agreeing with the other individual. Wapzilla's back. He says, drop a like, you bunch of chicken fluffers. That's a new one, Wapzilla. I've never heard anyone call anyone a chicken fluffer before, but, there's always today. Resting Craig Face says, Game Pass is like Catholic school growing up. Nuns would... This is going to be great. Nuns would serve sugarless Kool-Aid, and if you said something about it, you got slapped and told it's free, so don't complain. Same with games and Game Pass. You know, Resting Craig Face, we do hear that a lot of times. You know, wait, you like that one, Hustle? That was interesting.
That is a shame.
It's a hell of a story. It's a hell of a story. That's funny. Guys, we listen, I kept these guys hostage for well over 2 hours. And I love the show. Honestly, I don't care. No matter what anybody says, listen, if you love the show, you love the show. If you don't like the show, that's fine. Just because it's a difference of opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but anyone that tunes in every week, you guys notice that the panel changes here. You know, I have a couple of what I call my usual suspects, but other than that, we bring in some different views and opinions, and I pay attention on Twitter. I see the YouTube channels, and anybody who's really vocal and that wants to come on the show, always welcome. It's always a door open policy here. Enjoy the conversation. I encourage you to come on here with a difference of opinion. I don't want a bunch of people that agree with me. I really don't. And Xbox doesn't agree with me. Hustle told me a few times he disagreed tonight. That's fine. That's what it's all 100%. About, you know, and that's that. And I think, Hustle, that's one of the things you dig about it is you're able to come on here and speak your mind, you know, and it's very welcome on this channel. You know, speaking of that, let's go in reverse order here. Let's do some outro. Go ahead, Hustle. I was going to start with you anyways. Go ahead, Hustle.
Hold on. Okay. Super chat from Glenzer. Shout out to Glenzer. Is director's cut the new phrase for remaster?
Yo, I legit thought about that the other day, man.
So
Mike gave me a video idea. I don't know.
Actually, you know what? If you really want to take it a step further, shout to Glinzer, but I got to give credit where I first saw it, and that was shout out to Tim Dog. Tim Dog said, "Is director's cut the new term for money grab?" And I thought that was interesting, right? We used to get a little upset with that whole thing. With are they just money grabbing? Are they? So shout out to Tim Dog for that. But I mean, Glinzer, you say the same thing with remaster. Is this? I wouldn't say remaster because I've noticed the director's cut so far, guys. And tell me if I'm wrong. But when you look at the line items as you go through the items that are described per director's cut, you're getting content and an upgrade in, you know, like a remaster. You're getting a remaster. Yeah. You're also getting content from what I've seen.
Hey, Mooch, tell Tim that a cash grab is 3 consoles with no first party game.
Oh, well, I'll let Tim know. I'll let Tim know. But I thought it was interesting.
That is messy.
I thought it was interesting.
That is messy.
Shout out to Tim Dog, though. Shout out to Tim.
Shout out to Tim.
That guy Smitty here, he says CrossFire after hours. We really should do an after hours. Boy, imagine what that'd be. Because then alcohol would be involved.
I gotta get another drink.
Let me say to the chat, I'm joking, guys.
Yes, he is joking. He is friends with Tim. So calm down. Everybody calm down, please. Shout out to the great Lady Foxfire. She says, if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't use Game Pass or PlayStation Now, don't stress about it. Enjoy gaming and share opinions. Have a great weekend. So Lady Foxfire is spitting nothing but the truth. Right. But I will say this much. I also encourage, if you don't like PS Now or you don't like Game Pass for a reason, that you can speak about it in a very calm and politically correct way. But, right? So shout out to the great Lady Foxfire. Great to have her here and back in the chat. We got to get Lady Foxfire back on the show. Lady, I hope you have a new mic. You're ready to go. Lady Foxfire says last super chat. So, and just great, guys.
Give themselves needless ulcers over this stuff, man.
Like I have a lot of fun with it.
I've said before, I want the kind of problems people have in the bubble, man, because it's like,
right,
you spend all day worried about frivolous shit that does not.
And you know,
really
it's funny you say that. I started now. We're going part-time back to the office and stuff like that. It's like. Now it's even like less time on social media that you know, because before when you're I don't know whoever got a chance during the pandemic to work from home, you know, you had your work PC and you had your phone right next to you and you were pretty much able to check your phone or social media almost all the time. You know, but when you're back at work, it's like, and things are slowly starting to get back to normal now. The social media intake is definitely reduced. You know what I mean? Can I by a significant amount. Go ahead.
Let me just say something real quick, Mooch. Like for the people that, like, to Eric's point, the people that are really like upset and emotionally involved in this stuff, if this is your biggest concern in the real world, holy shit, when you really get out in the real world, you're gonna have problems.
It's gonna eat your ass up.
Yo, the real world is gonna eat your ass up, and the tossed salad man's gonna come get you.
Wow.
Shit.
Oh, there goes the after hours.
You know what? You know what? It's funny. I said that because I want to see if anyone get it. Eric. Yeah, Eric, you got that reference.
Yep.
That's a Chris Rock reference, by the way. You got a D? What do you mean you got a D? No, that's a Chris Rock reference, by the way.
Oh,
hey, Mooch.
Yes.
More Mooch is in the podcast.
We're going off the rails now.
It's so funny. Will, I'm not going to read that. That's fine. That's your opinion. Shout out to the great Will Henry, boy, I tell you, I can't wait. He's just unbelievable. Just a fantastic individual. Great to have Will here. All right, let's go in reverse order here. I want to let these guys go and enjoy some gaming, some time with their families. It is 4th of July weekend here in the States, guys. The great Hustle and Motivate. Hustle, listen, just like I say to E all the time, it's great to have you on the show. To have you and E at the same time is, heavenly for myself personally. But it's great to just have that wisdom that you bring and that sensibility that you keep calm. You read everything. You said it yourself. You were like, I didn't know what Nixus did. I went and looked it up. I did my research. That's what Hustle does. He finds things out and he speaks the truth. So Hustle, outstanding as always to have you here. Let people know about YouTube. Let people know about Twitter. And I hope you'll join us back here real soon.
Mooch, of course, I'll come back real soon. Hey, Hustle and Motivate on YouTube and Twitter. Tomorrow, I said it before at the beginning of the podcast. Tomorrow, I'm playing Uncharted. I really want to dig into that series.
Yes.
So I'm starting from the very first one. I'm looking for Elena. I think Sully is dead, even though I know the answer to both of those questions.
Spoiler.
I'm having a good time. Naughty Dog is probably my favorite PlayStation studio based off of The Last of Us. And if you know anything about me, that's my favorite game, period. Join me for all the hijinks on Twitter. Hustle and Motivate. You will see me pretty much everywhere, like from the Iron Lords. You've seen me on the backlog with Eric and Shaw, all over the place. You see me on Brap. Yeah, you've seen me here. Me and Jazz, we did Ultra Preset back in the day. I was on Saltiest Gaming Podcast. Yeah. So I'm all over the place. Thank you all for the opportunities. I really just wanted to borrow a line from the Level 1 Gaming people. I just wanted an opportunity to entertain you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And that you did, Hustle, as you always do. Thank you for being here, Hustle. It truly means a lot. And then I got my buddy here, Jez7780. And it's funny, Jez, because I wanted to try and work what you did the other day with your PS Now and your Game Pass thing. I couldn't. Just the way that the subjects went out and everything happened, it was just not able to get it in there. But let me tell you something. Guys, you guys got to go check out Jez doing this. He does this solo cast, which, by the way, I'm trying to get mine up and running here. I'm hoping to have a solo cast up with a special guest here and there occasionally. But, Jez, you do it so well. So let people know where they can find you. I appreciate you taking time away from your family as well today. Just let them know about the Grind My Gears because, man, if they're not watching it, they're missing out.
Hey, thank you so much. This is awesome. I was looking forward to it, man. Awesome. It was a crazy week. And, I pulled the Grinds My Gears. Go check it out on the Jez7780. GMG is the channel. And, I did a Grinds My Gears on the some things I'm noticing with the games leaving Game Pass. So I'm going to be following that too. Also, I do the Gaming Grindhouse on Monday nights at 8:30 with Frogs Dope Gaming, and then we have some guests. We'll get some guests from here. We'll get them over on the Grindhouse where we do the Grinds board. This week it was sponsored by Game Pass, but I lost that sponsorship because Optimus was promoting PS Now, and so they sent back my chair and everything. But it was an awesome time, dude. Yeah, so I got my soundboard, Arnold, Turbo Time. You got it. You come to my channel and hit that like button here, man. I love CrossFire because this is just like what I do, man. Just give your opinion. Everybody doesn't agree, but you know what? This is how I feel, and this is how they feel, and you gotta respect everybody's opinion. And you could argue and do that, but
absolutely,
hey, man. It's this drama. This is gaming. You're passionate about it. It's like people arguing about, the cars and all that other stuff, cameras and all that.
Oh my God, they argue about everything: dude. Sneakers, cars, sports.
JBL, Sony,
listen, I'm gonna. The minute we get done here, I'm making a drink. I'm going over. I'm putting on SNY, and I'm gonna watch a channel that's paid for by the New York Mets ownership to make fun of the New York Mets. Okay?
Exactly,
listen, all they do is tell us how bad we are on our own channel, and we're in first place. Leave us alone. But the point being,
tell you, my most entertaining channel. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, as a Giants fan, my most entertaining channel was watching the Eagles post-game show, their Comcast 1 or whatever, after they lost, and hear them all trash on them, and listen to Eagles radio and how they trashed on them. And you think like, oh my God, they're not fans. No, that's what fans do.
That's what fans do.
And exactly, that's what they do. Sports talk radio. If you notice that, like, this is the same thing. So if you're passionate about something, you will talk about the concerns that you have. Hello. Anyway, this is Grinds My Gears. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button over here.
Please.
And follow buddies on this channel. Let's go, baby. Happy 4th of July. Don't blow off your hands. Be safe.
That's very true, Jez. Great advice, by the way. And the great Eric Jackson, speaking of great advice, again, it's funny. You're on Brap, and you do another podcast as well that's phenomenal. And I got to tell you, if you were not already time after time taken day after day, I would love to have you on even more often than you are, because when you're on, you stop the nonsense. It's a dead halt, okay? You're more effective than a stop sign. You just put a dead end to it. So, listen, great to have you here as always. You're the voice of reason on this channel and many others. Let people know where they can find you, and I look forward to your return as well.
Oh, man, always a pleasure to be on, man. I'm definitely going to try to work with you to be on a little bit more often.
Be great,
Free that up. For sure. I always like being on with the panel. And the chat, I always love the chat, man. Some guys get a little wild in there, and I'm just going to say this, man. Like, if you love it, go for it.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
You love
if
it.
You like it. It doesn't matter what someone else says. If someone can, like, knock you off your square of something that you like, then it's probably not that person that's doing it to you. It's probably the thing that you swear up and down that you love, that you really probably don't love as much as you think you do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some issues if someone can shake you off of it. That's all I'm going to say. Take that to heart. So anyway, good podcast. Appreciate it.
Awesome, B. Great to have you here, buddy. And then Brap, I don't know. Brap must have turned right to just ice water. I don't know what happened with Brap. He simmered down after that first 20 minutes, but Brap, it was great to have you on tonight, buddy. I like a lit up Brap.
Nap. You took a power nap.
He did take a power nap.
I wanted everyone to.
I think he ate like a big bowl of frosted.
I was just gonna say. I think the reason he was complaining about pricing is that pizza and wings showed up to his house. He ate that, and he was like, "All right."
Absorbed all that alcohol.
The great Brap, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Brap, outstanding to have you on the show, buddy. Great takes tonight. Let people know where they can find you, and a great show on Wednesday. Yeah. I'll give you the plug yourself with DC.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it. No, I just wanted everyone to get kind of their thoughts. I didn't want to dominate the conversation per se. So because there's a lot of great opinions, great voices here tonight. As always, Mooch, CrossFire, literally lives up to the name.
Oh, tonight CrossFire was definitely on fire tonight, boy. Those fireworks, those weren't sparklers we had.
No, definitely not sparklers.
It was Roman candles we got.
M80s,
M80s, yeah. So no, but thank you again, Mooch, for having me on. It's always a pleasure. And you can find me on Brap_podcast on Twitters, and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time with myself, Eric Jackson, B Money 101, Slimo Backslap, and Gaming Forte. Again on YouTube. 9 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday night, and the occasional Brap rant on the weekends. I may do one this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But no, Mooch, thank you. Always a pleasure. Great show as always, man.
Thank you, Brap. I appreciate that. And a couple of quick plugs here for the guys that had to leave early. Shout out to the Xbot448 who did an outstanding job tonight doing what he does best. He earned that degree, folks. It's at Xbot448 on Twitter, on YouTube. His next podcast was on last night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And, of course, let's not forget the great Crap Gamer. That's at _Crap Gamer, and it's Crap Gamer Reviews on YouTube. Guys, go check out Crap on Twitter and YouTube. Puts out daily content. Guys, we'll see you guys next Friday, but I got to tell you something. Enjoy the weekend. Like, literally, get some gaming in. It doesn't matter if it's Game Pass. It doesn't matter if it's not Game Pass. I don't care. Who cares? Enjoy yourself. Enjoy some time with the family. Have a drink if you like to. If you don't, that's fine. I'm going to have a few myself and have a good time. It's 4th of July weekend, baby. USA. Let's go. And guys, we'll see you next Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out.
Yep.